Miami Hurricanes had an unscheduled open date last week. Their game with the Temple Owls was postponed because of Hurricane Irene. So Miami last played 2 Saturdays ago in Tallahassee against Florida State. Kenny Kelly had his finest game as a Hurricane with 370 yards passing, but the talented and #1 ranked Seminoles were just a little too strong for the Canes. Florida State outlasted Miami 31-21, dropping Miami's record to 2-3. The last time the Hurricanes and Boston College Eagles met was last year at the Orange Bowl. The Hurricanes used a punishing ground attack with Edgerrin James and Najee Davenport grinding out 4 touchdowns. Scott Covington threw a 5th touchdown, going to wide receiver Darryl Jones, as the Canes won 35-17 on their way to a 9-3 season. But Alumni Stadium in Chestnut Hill has always been a challenge for these Miami Hurricanes. 2 years ago, the Canes and Eagles engaged in a classic, the first overtime game in Miami history. It went 2 overtimes. Ryan Clements' touchdown pass to Darryl Jones, and the ensuing extra point gave Miami a thrilling 45-44 victory over Boston College. It's the Hurricanes and the BC Eagles from Alumni Stadium coming up next. From Alumni Stadium on the campus of Boston College, Sports Channel presents Miami Hurricane football. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Fort, along with my partner, John Kingemi. And, John, by this time of the year, late October, most coaches have an idea of how good, bad, or indifferent their football teams are. But because Miami's had 2 scheduled off weeks and the cancellation of last week's game, I think the Miami coaches are still kind of searching around, finding out what kind of football team are we? What is our identity?
It's definitely been an up-and-down season early in this year for the University of Miami, especially when you take a look at the schedule and the way they've played in the last couple of games. Penn State game was a definite benchmark for this Miami team. They just didn't close the door. East Carolina and Florida State in different ball games. They played terrific in the first half against Florida State, only losing that ball game by 10 points. But East Carolina was a very downer, if you will, in that second half. They didn't come out and play well. So Butch Davis feels like this team hasn't played in 12 weeks. They haven't won a football game in 39 days. So they have to come out, find an identity, and no better team to do it against a Big East rival in BC.
This is the first conference game of the year for Miami because of that Temple postponement. Kenny Kelly, the quarterback, coming off his finest day. Not sure how the forced off week will help or hurt him, but he had a great day against Florida State.
Kenny grew up again that first half against Florida State. As you see, 27 completions, 370 yards, and 3 touchdowns. But it was the way he hung in the pocket, the poise that he showed throwing the football. His timing was much better in this football game against Florida State than any other early in the season. And what he did here, down by the goal line, he puts air into the football and lets Reggie Wayne go up and make a play. He let a lot of his wide receivers make plays, and he didn't feel like he had to do it all by himself. So if you can sprinkle in a little bit of that running game, let Kenny hang in the pocket and get poised and get a little bit more mature, he's going to grow into a fine quarterback.
Boston College, one of those teams going with the 2-headed quarterback, Tim Hasselbeck and Brian St. Pierre, although St. Pierre suffered a concussion last week and he is questionable for today's game.
You're right. Hasselbeck is the junior. He'll get most of the snaps, over 1,000 yards passing. You see there 5 touchdowns, 56.8% passing. But St. Pierre, he's the freshman, a great percentage at 65, just doesn't have the leadership capabilities, and he's injured, to tell you the truth. Only 1 touchdown. He will not play unless Hasselbeck goes down in this football game, Frank.
What Boston College would like to do is keep Miami's offense off the field, pound it with running back Cedric Washington. That puts the onus on Miami's front four to make some plays and stuff the running game.
Washington, a tough runner inside the tackles. The defensive line for Miami, definitely a key in this ballgame. You see Burrow, Lewis, Sweeney, and Joseph. The most dominant has been Damian Lewis and getting back in tackles for loss. This group has 16 tackles for loss, but they only have 6.5 sacks among all 4 of them, with Damian Lewis holding 5 of those. So some of those other guys need to play a bigger role in this football game. Damian Lewis can't do it by himself.
And on the other side of the football, BC has one of the finest defensive linemen in the country in Chris Hovan, a 2-time All-Big East selection and a semifinalist for the Lombardi Award.
A senior, a very dominant player on that defensive front for the Eagles. Don't be surprised if you see him line up over the nose, over the tackle, on the end position. He can do it all for the Eagles up front. They're going to count on him to wreak havoc in the Miami offensive backfield.
If you like to watch line play, watch Hovan going against Rich Mercier, Ty Wise, and Martin Bibla. That would be
great
entertaining.
matchup.
It's a perfect day for football, at least if you grew up in the Northeast. Temperatures in the 50s. We'll kick it off here at Alumni Stadium. It's Miami against Boston College. We'll be right back. 23rd ranked Miami against a 5-1 Boston College team, but the Eagles are not ranked. They have not played in any ranked teams, nor have they beaten any ranked teams, obviously. They're going to try to get that done today against the University of Miami. The Hurricanes won the toss and have elected to receive. the wind blowing from right to left as you watch your television set, so BC will have the advantage of the wind here in the first quarter. Mike Sutphin will kick it off for the Eagles. And back to receive for the Hurricanes will be Aaron Mosier. And Jared Payton seeing his first kickoff return duty of the season. And the ball for a second time falls off the tee. And now it appears Pedro Serino, number 3, will have to come up and hold it. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. As we said in the open, John, the Hurricanes still kind of searching for an identity. They've played good football for the most part, but they just don't have a lot of positive feedback because of the 3 losses to the ranked teams.
I think, Frank, it's very important for Miami to start out fast in this football game against Boston College. They haven't played in 2 weeks, but they did play well against Florida State. They have to continue what they did against Florida State in that first half. Come out fast, score early, and put the pressure on Boston College, their offense.
There's Sutphin's kickoff. This is Aaron Mosier at the 6. Mosier across the 25, got away from Sutphin. Pedro Serino takes a big swipe at him and finally runs him out of bounds at the 38-yard line, but a nice kick return by Aaron Mosier.
Yeah, Mosier got daylight up the left-hand sideline, and really Pedro Serino, number 3, was lucky he wasn't flagged with a personal foul. It looked like he took that right forearm and delivered it right to Aaron Mosier's right side, but a nice return and a quick start for the Miami offense.
Well, Miami starts 1st and 10, ball between the 38 and 39-yard lines. We'll look at Kenny Kelly's numbers on the season. 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, would like to cut down on the interception total. On first down, Kelly will throw. Setting up the screen to James Jackson. Jackson across the 40, shoved out of bounds there by number 41, Marco Williams. Hurricanes will snap it next from the 42-yard line, so call it a gain of 4 on first down. And John, right there, maybe trying to put a little damper on the Boston College pass rush. Hurricanes are not a big screen team, but they go to the screen on the first play.
Well, they have to change it up against those seniors. They have 4 seniors up front, does Boston College, and they can all move around pretty well, so they have to change up the run and pass, get them going where they don't want to.
Mondrell Fulcher and James Jackson, the running backs. Kelly again to throw. Pass tipped by Serino and then dropped by Reggie Wayne. Pedro Serino had himself an interception as he read the out pattern. Let's take a look at the Miami offense as we await a 3rd and 6 play. Santana Moss, the big play guy, has 5 touchdowns so far this season. Averages over 20 yards a catch. And on the offensive line, Richard Mercier, the All-American candidate, senior from Montreal, Canada. 3rd and 6 for the Hurricanes from their own 42. Just underway here at Alumni Stadium. Give us to Jackson. Jackson searching for a hole and will not get there. He'll get about a yard. And it was Mike Willits, number 98, making the tackle for Boston College, so the Hurricanes will go 3 and out.
Well, the Canes don't win the battle on the line of scrimmage on 3rd and long. 3rd and 6, a very conservative call to open the game, which Davis and offensive staff may want to play field position. There is a stiff breeze that is swirling around this stadium, so a very conservative call to open the game.
Freddie Capshaw will kick it away. Dedrick DeWalt watches it sail into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Boston College will have it 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. 14 minutes, 2 seconds left to go first quarter here at Alumni Stadium. BC will snap it for the first time. They're going to huddle on the sideline with their head coach Tom O'Brien. Their quarterback is Tim Hasselbeck. Hasselbeck, a junior, son of former NFL player Don Hasselbeck. And his older brother Matt also played quarterback here at Boston College. There's Tim's numbers on the season. 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. BC will start in the shotgun. Give to Cedric Washington. Washington will get about 4. Dan Morgan and Edward Reed combining on the tackle for the Hurricanes. Bring up 2nd and a long 6. Let's take a look at the BC starting lineup. Cedric Washington, their best runner, averages nearly 5 yards a carry and has 5 touchdowns. And the offensive line, Paul Zakauskas, has moved from tackle to guard this year. He is a good one. And that is a huge offensive front. 3 guys in excess of 315 pounds. On 2nd down for BC, Hasselbeck again out of the shotgun. And a false start there by the tight end. They'll bring that back. That'll cost BC 5 and make it 2nd and about 11.
BC with their offensive sets in the first 2 plays really trying to spread this Miami defense out.
That was the voice of our referee, Jack Kramer, heading today's Big East officiating crew. As you look at some of the Boston College student section at the yellow shirts, take a look at the Hurricane defense while they mark off the penalty. Damian Lewis has 5 sacks, which leads the Hurricanes. Linebackers Dan Morgan, a semifinalist now for the Butkus Award. That was announced this week. And Al Blades has come on very strong at safety in recent weeks. 2nd and 11, Hasselbeck out of the shotgun. Throws near side and short hop to Cedric Washington. Edward Reed was there on the coverage. That'll bring up 3rd and long for the Eagles.
Boston College trying to spread Miami out and run the football from the shotgun. Now they go 2 consecutive plays with no backs in the backfield and try to move the linebackers, make the linebackers from Miami utilize their speed, but get them in man-to-man coverage. Boston College thinks they can take advantage of some of the man-to-man situations, especially with no backs in the backfield.
Cedric Washington aligned alongside Hasselbeck in the shotgun on this 3rd and 11 play. Miami with 4 on the rush. Hasselbeck steps up and now he'll run. Hasselbeck gets a good block from Washington and slides down at the 36-yard line. That's a first down for BC.
Terrific decision by Tim Hasselbeck. Nobody from Miami, the linebackers, watch the depth of the linebackers. They just take off and get way too deep in coverage. And you see Hasselbeck, he knows he only has to get minimal yardage. He makes a great cut and a great block by the running back, Cedric Washington. And then he does the smart thing. He slides down. He wants the personal foul. Looked like Mike Rumpf came in at his head. He doesn't get the penalty, but he does get the first down.
1st and 10 from the Boston College 36. The game was 17. Washington with the football and a hole. And Washington up to midfield. Another Boston College first down, a pickup of 14. Mike Rumpf and Al Blades combining on the tackle.
Frank, BC's doing a terrific job, and as you said at the open, this big offensive line, they're providing holes for the running attack, and they're doing a good job of taking the line of scrimmage. You see Cedric Washington on the season, 587 yards, close to 5 yards per carry and 5 touchdowns, so he knows what to do when he gets when his number is called.
1st and 10, Boston College still operating out of the shotgun. Again, it's Washington. Washington dances through the hole and has room. Washington 35, 30 and run out at the 29-yard line of Miami. A pickup of 21.
This is not the fast start the Miami defense wanted to come out with, Frank. We talked about the Miami offense, but watch the move. Cedric Washington puts on Ed Reed, number 20 in the hole to make the play. Ed Reed slips inside and just a little move to the outside, a quick burst by the 5'10 junior, and he goes outside for a big Boston College gain.
Call it a gain of 22 as they mark it just shy of the 28-yard line. Boston College having good success out of the shotgun. Now Hasselbeck goes under center. Washington the only running back. Hasselbeck with the blitz coming, fires to Washington, had a pretty good screen set up, but missed connections. Chris Campbell out on the coverage for Miami, or rather he was the man on the blitz and forcing Hasselbeck to get rid of the football.
Hasselbeck definitely wanted to hold on to the football to bait the defensive lineman towards him, but Chris Campbell coming from the wide side of the football field put terrific pressure on Hasselbeck. He had to throw the football and get rid of it. A smart play by the quarterback.
2nd and 10. Hasselbeck completing 57% of his passes coming into this game. BC swaps the tight end, making the strong left formation to the bottom of the screen. That's where the tight end, Brian Arndt, is lined up. Hasselbeck on the rollout. Pressure coming backside, hit by Campbell, and that forces the incompletion. Chris Campbell, the sophomore out of Mount Pleasant, Texas, talking to Greg Schiano, the defensive coordinator, during the week, he said he played fairly well against Florida State, but there were about 5 or 6 plays where he had to make a tackle. If we're going to be a good defense, he's got to make a play, and he didn't. Here, the great pressure forces the incompletion. Dan Morgan was in the line of fire there, nearly had an interception.
Yeah, and Boston College really trying to turn back protection, meaning the linemen were providing a shield to the short side of the field and allowed Hasselbeck to move to the wide side, but the speed of the Miami defense, especially at linebacker, catches up with BC's offense.
3rd and 10 for Boston College. Dedrick DeWalt in motion. Hasselbeck swings it out to Washington at the 30. Washington cuts inside and chopped down at the 22-yard line, well shy of the first down. Nate Webster and Jeff Popovich combining on the tackle for Miami, and that will bring the field goal unit on the field. Number 23, John Madich, the junior from San Diego, has struggled this year. Only 5 of 12 in field goal tries. His long is 45. This will come from 39 yards away.
He does have the wind at his back, Frank, but the wind is swirling at the moment.
And Michael Burrow jumped offside, and that's going to give Boston College a first down.
Well, it doesn't matter what the wind's going to do now, because that's an automatic first down for BC, and you have to be disappointed. That's the one thing on defense you don't want to do, is give a gimme first down.
There's the call from Jack Kramer. Michael Burrow, who has been playing on a bad ankle, just committing the unpardonable mistake there. Well, that'll give BC a first down at the 17-yard line and keeps the drive alive.
Yeah, that's a sin. It keeps the drive alive. That time the ankle didn't show up on the injury report. It was something in between the ears. You can't do that on a 4th and short.
First down from the 17. Fake to Washington. Hasselbeck under some pressure. Throwing to the end zone to his tight end. Touchdown! Ryan Arndt, the tight end, beating Dan Morgan down the field.
Credit Tim Hasselbeck. That was a terrific pass. He was under pressure. He bought some time in the BC backfield, and then he just found his big tight end streaking from across the right side of the field to the left side, just outrunning the coverage of Miami. It looked like Dan Morgan was on the coverage. Watch the right side of your screen. First the little block by the tight end, and then he comes across the formation in a great touch pass to the left corner of the end zone. You can't defend that. That's just a well-executed offensive play by Boston College.
Matic on for the extra point try. Kick is up, and it is good. And with 11 minutes and 4 seconds left to go first quarter, Ryan Arndt's second touchdown of the year has Boston College on top 7-0. We'll take a break. We'll be right back from Alumni Stadium after this. Tim Hasselbeck engineering an 80-yard touchdown drive, the 17-yard touchdown pass to Brian Arndt, capping off that drive, which took only 1:36 in a drive kept alive by an offside penalty on a 4th down against the Hurricanes. Take one more look at the touchdown pass. Chuck Pagano, the defensive backs coach, told me yesterday, John, you got to try and take the tight end away from BC. That's one of their strengths. Well, they certainly didn't do it here.
Well, actually, the tight end really was on a drag. He was actually blocking at the line of scrimmage. And you see the time that Tim Hasselbeck bought for Arndt, the big tight end, and he just a great touch pass to the outside for his 6th touchdown pass of the year, and that's Brian Arndt's 2nd reception touchdown for the season.
Mike Sutphin will kick it off as you look at Hasselbeck. And again, Jared Payton and Aaron Mosier back to receive the kick for the Hurricanes. Well, John, not the start Miami had hoped for here in Boston College, as this is the Big East opener for the Hurricanes. And they desperately need a win, as we said in the open, because of the off weeks and because of the 3 losses to ranked teams. They desperately need to win a football game just to get a little self-confidence going. Sutphin will pooch it high and short. Fair catch called, and Popovich makes it at the 35-yard line. That's a good play with the wind swirling around the way it is here at Alumni Stadium. Very difficult. Doesn't seem to be affecting the passing game much, but we were down on the field before the game, and definitely affects the kickballs.
Definitely. Anything above, when it gets to the 2nd tier of this stadium, it seems like the ball is really going from left to right, really shooting down and swirling back towards the BC sideline. So a good play by the BC special teams, and a heads-up play, a nice fair catch by Jeff Popovich. 1st and
10 Hurricanes at the 35, as we'll take a look in a moment at the Boston College defense after this play. Hurricanes with the double wide receiver to the bottom of the screen. Reggie Wayne and Santana Moss in the slot. Fake counter to Jackson. Kelly will throw. Has Moss complete, and that's at inside BC territory at the 49-yard line. Pickup is 16, and we'll take another look at it.
Frank, I don't think...
Take a look at the defense first. Chris Hovan, of course, the All-American candidate out of Rocky River, Ohio. 11 tackles for loss among his 41 total tackles. Frank Chamberlain, the middle linebacker, the leading BC tackler. And Pedro Sereno in the secondary does a little bit of everything. 1st and 10 Hurricanes. Moss in motion. Give it to Jackson. Jackson just nowhere to go. George White The safety coming up in run support and no gain on the play. It looked like Mondrell Fulcher just didn't get a good block at the point of attack.
Frank, there's two things that really jump out at me in watching the first series for Miami and watching the first series for BC. Miami's splits of their offensive line are so tight that it looks like everything's inside the hashes. In contrast, BC splits were very wide and they spread out Miami's defense. The other thing, I don't think BC's skill people on defense can hang with the wide receivers of Miami. Look for Miami to use their passing game more today.
2nd and 10 Hurricanes. Fulcher motioning in the backfield. Kelly throws to Fulcher, complete, and he'll pick up a couple of yards before he is shoved out of bounds by Frank Chamberlain, the middle linebacker. It's a pickup of 3. It'll bring up 3rd and 7 for the Hurricanes with 10:07 left to go first quarter, and BC with the early 7-0 lead.
A nice catch by Mondrell Fulcher for a minimal gain. You see Frank Chamberlain, the middle linebacker for the Eagles, coming from that middle linebacker position out, and he has a lot of speed. He leads the team in tackles with 58 and 5 tackles for a loss, but nice coverage by number 44.
Miami goes with their diamond personnel package, 3 wide receivers as Andre King joins Moss and Wayne. On 3rd and 7, out of the shotgun. Blitz coming. Kelly fires it out to Moss, and he'll go down right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe squeezes out a yard. DJ Sutton, the nickelback for Boston College, makes the outstanding tackle on Santana Moss, and the Canes are going to have to punt.
Well, credit the defensive scheme that time for Boston College. Really nowhere to go with the football from Kenny Kelly. He wanted to throw the football outside and down the field, but he had pressure coming from the corners, just too many people to block. It seems like the offensive lineman didn't come out quick enough, and as you said, DJ Sutton, number 25, in that nickel position, comes up and makes a quick tackle on the Hurricane receiver.
Capshaw's punt, trying to hang it high. DeWalt at the 10-yard line. Runs into a Hurricane, but the ball fell out of bounds on the far side. Let's see where they'll mark it. And they're still walking up, and now they've got it at the 19-yard line. So credit Capshaw with a 26-yard punt, but it's inside the 20 and out of bounds. There's 9 minutes, 26 seconds left to go first quarter. Boston College 7, Miami nothing. Support UM student athletes by making a donation to the Hurricane Club. Every dollar raised goes toward the Student Athlete Scholarship Fund. Support Hurricane Athletics. Make your donation by calling 305-284-6699 or 1-800-GO Canes. Hasselbeck flips it out to Washington. Washington across the 30 to the 33-yard line and has a first down before Al Blades makes the tackle. Looks, John, to me like BC's got a pretty good game plan.
Well, they're going a lot with no backs in the backfield. That time really a different set. They had 4 wide receivers, including the running back Cedric Washington to the outside. Miami only had 3 defenders out there, and when you come and huddle from the sidelines and come right onto the field, it's tough to adjust on first down. They catch Miami by surprise and get a big first down in the second drive of the game for the Eagles.
3 wide receivers in for the Eagles, again out of the shotgun. Shovel pass, and Dan Morgan read that and puts the smackdown on Cedric Washington for a loss of a half a yard.
Wow, a huge play on first down there by Dan Morgan. He knows he had no support to the outside because the pitchback was on the inside. Watch Cedric Washington, 35. He's the pitchback. Dan Morgan realizes the quarterback's not going to beat him to the outside and comes off on the running back. Watch Dan Morgan right here at the point of attack. He knows the quarterback can't beat him. The support will get him. He goes to the most dangerous man. That was Washington. Big play by the Canes defense.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Again out of the shotgun and 3 wide receivers in for BC. Low snap, Hasselbeck stepping up, and now he'll run. Hasselbeck will run out at the 43-yard line and should have a BC first down. Hasselbeck on the year, 39 carries, 57 yards, but of course you take rushing yards off sacks. They haven't given up that many sacks. Actually, they thought St. Pierre was the better runner.
Yeah, exactly, and Hasselbeck showing what he could do with the football. Really, there's no underneath coverage. It looks like the Miami linebacking core is really dropping 10, 12, 15 yards deep, and that time Hasselbeck, for the second time, tucks it under his right shoulder and gets a first down.
From the 43, it's a Boston College first down. 8 minutes, 17 seconds to go first quarter. 7-0 Eagles. Washington again with room. Washington to the outside across midfield and down at the Hurricane 45-yard line. A pickup of 12 and a first down. Al Blades making the tackle.
Frank, so far this Boston College offense really doing what they want to do with the Miami defense. This time out of the shotgun formation, they give the draw play. Look at the down block of the offensive line. Paul Zukakis, number 66, does a great job of just forcing the Miami defensive front down the line of scrimmage. We talked about it at the open. That would be a key, the defensive front for Miami, how well they held up and contained Cedric Washington. So far, 4 rushes, 58 yards, an average of 14.5. Not doing a very good job.
Carlton Rowe in to give Washington a breather. Hasselbeck with the pitch play to Rowe, and this time it's Michael Barreau who makes the tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
If you're a Miami fan, you want Boston College to continue to run this inside pitch because that's the only thing they've been able to stop. Just a huge play by number 93, Michael Barreau. He hung in and stayed at home. Watch his eyes from the right side of the screen. You see him, he sees the quarterback. He knows nobody can beat him to the outside, and Barreau just closes the door down on the Boston College running back.
2nd and 10 for BC. At the Miami 45. Hasselbeck with time, flips it over the middle, complete to DeJuan Daniels, who takes a big hit from Marquise Fitzgerald at the Miami 37-yard line. Picked up about 7, close to 8 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, that was a huge hit, and welcome to the Canes game by Marquise Fitzgerald. Hasn't seen the field in quite a while. He does a nice job coming from the secondary. Hasselbeck does a good job, though, waiting and being patient in the pocket. He steps up, finds a receiver, but watch 27 in white just deliver the pop at the end of the play.
Nate Webster also helping on the tackle. It'll bring up 3rd and 2 for Boston College at the Miami 37. 3 wide receivers in for BC. Three-step drop, Hasselbeck, pass is complete. And that is Dedrick DeWalt, who's down to the Miami 30-yard line and will have a first down. Gain was 7.
Frank, you get the feeling that Boston College is with ease moving the football on this Hurricane defense. It's much too easy on 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3 to come out and get a hitch play when Miami tried to do it on the opposite side when they had the football. Almost an interception on the first series.
6:20 to go first quarter. BC has controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball so far in this game. Out of the shotgun, Hasselbeck on a 1st and 10. With plenty of time. Now the protection breaks down. William Joseph chasing him. Hasselbeck still going and will run out at the 33-yard line and take a 3-yard loss on the play. Leonard Myers was there to force him out. Bring up 2nd and 13.
Credit some great coverage down the field. Miami in a heavy zone coverage that time, really staying at home, and there was nowhere to go with the football. Hasselbeck did what he could to get outside the pocket. He outran number 94, William Joseph, to get to the sidelines, but a great job that time by the Miami secondary. Everybody stayed at home, stayed in their lanes. You see Leonard Myers there on the corner. They did a nice job in coverage.
They mark it at the 32, a loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Eagles shifting, double wide receiver now to the bottom of the screen. Hasselbeck going down the field. Penalty flag flies in as Leonard Myers got caught up with DeJuan Daniels. And that's going to be a penalty, a flag on Myers, who had a very rough time against Florida State a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, he hasn't. He's been up and down this season, and Leonard Myers will tell you that himself. But that time he looked like he was out of position, stayed in his back pedal much too long, and Daniels was going to run right by him. He did the smart thing and prevented the touchdown with the interference call.
Saw the indication of holding on Leonard Myers. Let's take another look, and it's already happened when the ball was in the air there.
Actually, with the hold, Frank, he got himself in a catch-up position. If he didn't hold on the outside, the receiver Daniels would have run right by him to the outside.
So they'll mark it down to the Hurricane 22-yard line, and it'll be an automatic first down with 5:50 left to go in the first quarter. And John, Miami desperately needs to make a play. They need something to change the momentum of this game. And I don't know if right now Butch Davis is kind of at his wit's end. He's not sure what to do. And you look back and maybe the layoff last week has hurt them more than people thought. Washington with the football. Chased by Nate Webster, who holds that play to a gain of about a yard. Good play by the All-Big East middle linebacker, third-team All-American from a year ago. leading Miami with 63 tackles so far this season, 6 of those for losses.
Well, he knows right now they have to make a stand. They have to hold BC to at least a field goal opportunity. And the play before, Nate Webster was going around to the defensive lineman and I think expressing just that, and he makes a big play running the running back down from behind.
2nd and 9. DeWalt in motion. Hasselbeck, still no pressure. Throwing for the end zone, and that ball is thrown out of the end zone and incomplete. DeWalt was all tied up with Al Blades. A couple of fans yelling for penalties, but that would appear to be an uncatchable ball.
Yeah, the ball didn't even land in the end zone much. A little too much mustard on it from Hasselbeck, but good combo coverage from the inside by Al Blades and from the outside by Leonard Myers. Hasselbeck stands in, wants to go to the corner route to the outside, but you'll see in and out coverage and a little contact with Al Blades, but clearly the ball was not catchable.
I don't think that's a penalty either way. 3rd and 9 for BC as we approach the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. Blitz coming. Hasselbeck trying to run out of trouble, and down he goes. Penalty flag flies in. Probably a face mask on Michael Burrow.
And that's a shame because that time Miami comes with pressure and man coverage. Michael Burrow just trying to reach out and grab Hasselbeck. It looked like he got him by the face mask. Actually,
holding on offense. Wow. Yeah, that flag flew in. The way Hasselbeck went down, it appeared that it might have been a face mask. But if they're calling that a hold, then it's going to be a sack for Michael Burrow.
Well, that's a big break for Miami because they did come in man coverage and they try to create some pressure and breaking down. You see Dan Morgan with speed to the outside, beats his man and flushes Tim Hasselbeck to the right side, and it looked like a face mask, but that was all jersey. The holding was the call, and Frank, we're wrong for the first time, I guess, this season.
See Burrow pressuring from the left side of the screen and reaches out and he's got him by the jersey there.
Yeah,
just the way his head jerked down, that's what it appeared does. But it was a hold on the man blocking Burrow, Michael Cook, number 65. So Matic will come in now on 4th down with Hasselbeck holding and attempt a 44-yard field goal with the wind at his back. Snap is good. Placement's good. Matic's kick on the way and through there for a 44-yard field goal and a penalty flag down. Miami ran into the kicker. And it's going to be 15 yards. I'm not sure if it'll give BC a first down. Let's see if Tom O'Brien takes the points off the board.
But it might give him a 4th and about a half a yard, it looks like, Frank.
Well, 2 mistakes in the kicking game already by the Hurricanes in the first quarter is just 10.5 minutes old. Let's take one more look. That was hard to see on that replay.
It might have been number 48, Chris Campbell, on the outside.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, against the defense, half the distance.
Half the distance and an automatic
first down.
Wow.
Miami not helping themselves. BC having really they're doing what they want to do by formation against Miami offensively, but Miami really killing themselves early in this football game.
That's a second penalty on a attempted field goal that has cost Miami a first down. Let's try to take another look at this.
It's hard to see exactly what happened on the outside, but there it is, number 48. Chris Campbell coming in and lowering his shoulder on the kicker.
That's just inexperience.
Yeah, that's a bad angle, really. You never want to be that deep trying to block a kick.
That's inexperience on Campbell's part and a costly penalty on first down. Rowe, Carlton Rowe with a big hole and gets inside the 5-yard line before Al Blades makes the tackle. Close to a first down. Well, this is going from bad to worse for the Hurricanes.
In a hurry, Frank.
So far, 3 penalties on the Canes, but
costly.
Yeah, very costly. At this point, it probably should be 6-0 Boston College, and they're kicking off. But 2 penalties on attempted field goals cost Miami first downs. BC converted the first one into a touchdown, and they're about to do the same. They're going to measure for a first down here. John, Miami's defensive line just not creating anything at the line of scrimmage, with the exception really of the 2 plays they stopped on the shovel pass. But against the running game, they really haven't created any penetration and haven't made any positive plays.
And it looks like the defensive line for Miami is really spread out, and they're giving holes by the way they're lining up by alignment. And BC, with the formations, are coming out of the huddle and really giving them no backs and then 3 wide receivers to one side and throwing hitch screens and doing whatever they want to do against Miami. And then you couple that with the mistakes Miami really heaping on themselves. You can't win football games. You get behind, you get in holes early in football games, and then the pressure's on your offense.
Well, rushing yards so far today. Boston College, as I mentioned, has been in complete control of the line of scrimmage. Miami, John, has struggled against teams that have spread the formation, spread them out. They struggled against East Carolina that way. They struggled against Florida State that way, and they're struggling here today. Now only 1 wide receiver in the formation as Boston College goes with 2 tight ends on 2nd and a couple inches from the 4-yard line. Rowe with the football. Rowe will have the first down and gets down close to the 1-yard line. Chris Campbell, Michael Burrow combining on the tackle, but it'll be 1st and goal for BC with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to go first quarter.
Well, just for an example there, Frank, they come in with 2 tight ends and 1 wide receiver, and Miami has 4 down linemen on the line of scrimmage, and really the linebackers had their heels on the goal line with the ball close to the 5. So a natural hole for Carlton Rose. You see on the season 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Eagles are trying to get in the end zone again to make this a 14-point game.
William Green, number 1, the freshman, into the football game. That's Green with the football, and William Green scores the touchdown. The freshman from Atlantic City, New Jersey, scoring the touchdown, and Boston College leads 13-0.
Yeah, the freshman, 6'1", 220. All he does is lower his head and follow his offensive line. He goes right over Butch Palazza and Paul Zukakis on the right side, lowers his head and goes in for the BC touchdown. It's 13-0.
Well, again, John, you got to go back to the 2 penalties on when BC was lining up for field goals, and that's cost Miami a couple of touchdowns. Hasselbeck will hold for Matic on the extra point. It's good. And with 3 minutes and 47 seconds left to go first quarter, William Green's 1-yard touchdown run has given Boston College a 14-0 lead. 3:47 left to go first quarter. We'll be right back here on Sports Channel.
In the new millennium, you want to be tougher, stronger, and more powerful than before. Introducing the 2000 Ford F-150 XLT Super Cab, featuring Ford's Triton V8 engine. The only Super Cab with 4-door standard. With 3.9 financing plus option package discounts, you can save nearly $5,000. That's a powerful way to roll into the new year. So get tough and get to your South Florida Ford dealer today.
Tune into Sports Channel Florida Saturday mornings throughout the college football season. The lineup includes Saturday morning college kickoff at 10 a.m., followed by the Jim Levitt Show at 11, the Butch Davis Show at 11:30, and the Big Ten Game of the Week at 12 noon. Don't miss any of the action Saturdays on Sports Channel Florida. Tom O'Brien's Boston College Eagles putting back-to-back long drives together, helped by 2 Miami penalties, crucial penalties on 4th down. That last drive, 15 plays, 81 yards, 5 minutes and 19 seconds. And they give William Green credit for a 2-yard touchdown run. Let's take another look at that play.
Yeah, just watch the offensive line come off the football. You see the right side just really getting lower than Miami and just blowing him into the end zone. You see number 1, the freshman, William Green, go in for a 2-yard score. But this crowd is back into this football game. BC's very excited, and they should be. They're doing whatever they want to do with the football, and they're up 14-0.
Sutphin's kickoff. This will be Jarrett Payton at the 1. Payton across the 20 to the 25-yard line. Penalty flag flies in. Tackle coming from Doug Bissett, a backup safety. And let's check out the penalty. They threw it in an area where Aaron Mosier was blocking. And this is going to put Miami back inside their own 20. Special teams play right now, John, just killing the Hurricanes.
Well, you said bad to worse earlier. I don't know how much worse it can get in this game, Frank. Miami doing nothing right. on offense, defense, or special teams.
Holding is the call. And they'll mark it in spot of the foul about the 26-yard line.
Well, that man right there has got some work to do now with his team really down in a hole 14 points. And really, as you said, Frank, if Miami smartens up on defense, they're only down 6-0 in this game, and it's not a big hole. But you see Kenny Kelly 4 out of 5 for 24 yards. Miami's going to be forced to spread the football out and really rely on their outside receivers in Santana Moss and Reggie Wayne right now to make big plays. They have to catch up in a hurry because this thing could get out of hand.
3:38 left to go, first quarter. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. Hurricanes in their standard personnel group. Mondrell Fulcher and James Jackson, the running backs, behind Kenny Kelly. That's Moss in motion. Jackson, just nowhere to go. George White there, along with Frank Chamberlain, the middle linebacker, 44, no gain.
Yeah, you mentioned White and Chamberlain. Those are the two guys first to the football. It looked like Miami was pulling in the offensive guards, and they had people out in front, but the hole closed rapidly with the pursuit of Chamberlain, 44, and White, number 40. Take a look right there, the offensive guard. You see Bibla coming out with the kick-out block with the fullback Fulcher, but inside pursuit from White and Chamberlain really shut the door on the running game for Miami.
Well, both blockers took the same player. 2nd and 10, Hurricanes. Kelly calls timeout. John, it just looks like there's confusion. The Hurricanes are very unsure of themselves, what they're doing on both sides of the football, and I don't know if it's fair to say they're being outcoached right now, but certainly it looks like BC is ready for everything Miami does, and Miami just doesn't seem ready for what Boston College is doing.
Well, Miami's offense, in their behalf, they've not been on the football field to move the football effectively. There's no rhythm, and on defense, as you said, Boston College coming out with great sets, great formations, spreading that Miami defense out and taking advantage of the mistakes Miami has made.
Don't miss Sunday Morning NFL, the only live 90-minute NFL pregame show dedicated to Florida's teams. Join your hosts Ned Smith, John Congemi, I know him, Frank Franchi, and Dave Worth each Sunday as they preview the matchups for the Dolphins, Jaguars, and Buccaneers. The action begins at 10 a.m. exclusively on Sports Channel Florida. 2 minutes, 56 seconds left to go in what has been a dreadful first quarter for the Miami Hurricanes. They're down 14-0 to Boston College. Boston College with 2 long drives, both of which have been kept alive by 4th down penalties on field goal attempts by Boston College. Total yardage, Greg Schiano's not going to be happy with that.
Not with 2:56 left to go in the first quarter.
Well, Miami desperately needs to string together some first downs, get a drive going, and put something on the scoreboard.
Well, this is a situation where a quarterback, you go into the huddle and you say, guys, relax. We have to take this and get 1 first down at a time. We're only down 14 points. We can get back into this football game, but we're going to have to stay on the field. We have to move the chains.
2nd and 10 upcoming for Miami. And the crowd here at Alumni Stadium is having a ball right now. It's Fulcher in motion. Fake to Jackson. Kelly going to go deep. Andre King dropped it at the BC 38-yard line. Jonathan Ordway had the coverage, but King was behind him, and he stumbled as the ball was coming down to him, threw off his stride, but the ball still hit him in the hands.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Credit a great throw by Kenny Kelly. A nice play fake. He makes all the Boston College pursue outside. He steps into the pocket, and we mentioned with the winds, the swirling winds, this ball may have gotten behind him and really caught up to the wide receiver King. He may have stumbled, but you got to make that play to the outside. Kenny Kelly, all he can do is put it close and depend on Andre King to come down with the big catch.
3rd and 10 for Miami out of the shotgun. Kelly with some time. Over the middle, complete to his tight end Franks, and he might be short of a first down at the 25-yard line. They're going to mark him shy. And Bubba, you see Bubba upset about it. And he was upset because I think Boston College went after him after the whistle. Kept driving him back and threw him to the turf. It is 4th down, and Miami will have to kick.
Well, that's the guy you want. You think you can get an extra yard out of Bubba Franks when he catches the football down the field. Just an option route. Kenny Kelly going exclusively to his tight end. He puts the ball right on the spot, but credit the gang tackling on the inside. 54, Scott Bradley, and number 44. It looked like Frank Chamberlain doing a nice job keeping Bubba shy of the first down.
Capshaw's kick into the wind. DeWalt lets it hit and go out of bounds at the Boston College 37-yard line. BC will take over there, 1st and 10 with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left to go in this first quarter. A look at Freddie Capshaw, the walk-on from Rock Springs, Wyoming. Earned the starting punting job 3 games ago and has done an excellent job. Tim Hasselbeck leads BC onto the field. This BC offense has had their way with Miami so far. Numbers on Hasselbeck. Touchdown pass to his tight end, Brian Arndt.
And he's done a nice job running the football twice, Frank. He's gotten 2 big first downs for this BC offense.
Washington, the only running back. Hasselbeck checking off. 3-step drop. Going down the sideline and overthrows everyone. His receiver, Jamal Burke, broke off the pattern. And obviously a miscommunication there.
Anytime you check in press coverage, you want to go to that fade route. It looks like the receiver came down to the inside. Hasselbeck expected him to go back to the outside.
2nd and 10, Boston College. They'll go back to operating out of the shotgun, in which they've been very successful. Give to Washington. Washington finding some room. Across the 45-yard line, it'll be about 1.5 yards shy of a first down. Dan Morgan making the tackle for Miami. John, Miami just has done nothing to stop the running game.
They really haven't. And the BC offensive line, although they are at 310, 300 pounds, 318 pounds, 340 up front, they're moving around and really using their feet and getting in great position and angle blocking down on the Miami linebackers and the defensive front, really winning that line of scrimmage battle.
3rd and 2 from the 45 of Boston College. Washington with the football. And Nate Webster, he got away from him. And now Edward Reed forced to make the tackle in Miami territory. I think he would have had the first down anyway, despite the missed tackle by Webster. And that's going to move the chains for Boston College with 1:21 to go first quarter.
That's just a nice cutback by Cedric Washington and a good read and patience in the backfield. That ball was supposed to go off the right side, but watch him. There's nothing there. He cuts back. He sees the middle linebacker, Webster, just keeps his legs pumping and breaks that tackle. Edward Reed coming back from the strong safety position to make the tackle, but a nice effort by Cedric Washington.
Miami really having trouble getting off BC's blocks. 1st and 10 out of the shotgun for Hasselbeck. Washington on the delay. Runs into the pile, and William Joseph, Nate Webster, and Damian Lewis combined to drop him for a loss of 2.
We talked in the open, Frank, of the defensive ends for Miami. They had to play a little bit bigger. That time, William Joseph really dominated the tight end, Robert Ellis, number 82, right on the line of scrimmage, and there was nowhere for the Boston running back to run.
Bring up 2nd and close to 13 yards with 34 seconds in the clock running here in the first quarter. That's the first real negative play Miami's forced in the run game on defense. On a 2nd and long, Dedrick DeWalt in motion. Hasselbeck under pressure. Chris Campbell couldn't get him. Loose football, and it looks like BC will come up with the recovery. Damian Lewis eventually did sack Hasselbeck, and the fumble recovered by Butch Palazza, the center, number 72. But a big loss on that play of 6 yards, and that'll bring up 3rd and long. But we have reached the end of the first quarter, and mercifully so for Butch Davis's Miami Hurricanes. After the first 15 minutes, it's Boston College leading Miami 14-0. We'll be back with the second quarter after this. Back at Alumni Stadium on the campus of Boston College, where the Eagles have a 14-0 lead on Miami. Let's look at the last play once again, and we'll credit William Joseph with the sack of Hasselbeck as Joseph comes from the outside. We were talking about Chris Campbell before about how he had opportunities to make some plays against Florida State and didn't. Here, he's got a shot at Hasselbeck and doesn't make the play. Joseph comes in, forces the fumble, which was recovered by BC. So for William Joseph, that is his first full sack as a Miami Hurricane. He had half a sack against Florida State. Credit him also with the forced fumble, the big freshman out of Miami Edison High School.
And Frank, really the only two back-to-back plays this defense has come up with in the first quarter. Boston College doing what they want to do with the football. Spread Miami out offensively with formations, throw the football, make some big plays, and be opportunistic as well, taking advantage of Miami's mistakes and turning it into 14 points.
Well, again, if you just joining us, there were 2 drives by Boston College in the first quarter, which bogged down, lined up for field goals on both occasions, and both times Miami was guilty of penalties, which gave Boston College a first down, and they subsequently punched it in for touchdowns, and that's why Tom O'Brien's team has a 14-0 lead. It'll be 3rd and 19 when we return to play to start the second quarter. Tom O'Brien in his 3rd year at Boston College. 8-14 the record coming into the year. Boston College with a 5-1 mark this season, but you know, John, you look at 5-1 and they really haven't played tough teams. They won a Big East game against Pittsburgh, but they lost to Temple a couple of weeks ago. And you wonder, how can this possibly be the same team? Yeah, and you watched them against the University of Pittsburgh, and they didn't look like they were going to be world beaters today against Miami. And maybe we were watching the wrong team, because today they're doing what they want to do with the football. On 3rd and 19, they're going to play conservatively and give it to Washington. Washington hit by Dan Morgan and dropped down there at the 49-yard line. So BC picks up about 5, but will have to punt, and a little pushing and shoving in the pile there. And BC will have to punt for the first time today. Kevin McMyler, the punter, averaging 35 yards a kick. He's had a couple blocked. Santana Moss standing at the Miami 14-yard line awaiting the kick. McMyler with a nice kick. Moss backing up, makes the catch at the 13, and he is drilled. Ryan Birch, the fullback, right there on the play, and he did not violate the 2-yard zone. Wow, that's great timing by Ryan Birch, the fullback, on special teams coming down. And credit Santana Moss with hanging on to the football. That was a difficult catch. With these winds today blowing from the Miami sideline towards the BC sideline, that took great courage to stand under this football, really like a center fielder, knowing you're going to get hit by an oncoming special teams player, and that was Ryan Birch. But a good play by Birch, but even a better play to hang on to the football by Santana Moss. Ryan Birch, the big fullback, goes in the 250-pound range, and he put a smack on Santana Moss. But as you said, Santana, fortunately for Miami, held on to the football. Just underway second quarter, 14 minutes and 17 seconds to go, and Miami will try to put something together offensively. It's up to the offensive line to start creating some holes. Miami wanted to get something done in the running game today, but really the running backs have had nowhere to go. James Jackson just has not had any holes to go through. And really the only big play Miami had a chance to get was on the outside with play action and Andre King streaking down the Miami sideline. Kenny Kelly put it close, but Andre couldn't come down with the football. But there's really no rhythm, it seems like, because Miami's offense hasn't been on the field. It's really the story of the football game has been BC's offense and looking at what they wanted to do with the football. You see, Miami was 0-0 in the conference, which has them in 7th place simply because they haven't played a game. Virginia Tech looks to be a real juggernaut this year. Boston College, the one loss coming to Temple. Syracuse at 2-1, and the huge loss to Virginia Tech. West Virginia's 1-1, and they've been struggling. Really, you know, aside from Virginia Tech, this conference is wide open, and everybody thought Miami and Virginia Tech would be 1-2 in no particular order, but in the Big East opener right now, the Hurricanes at the moment are laying an egg. They really are, and they have to pick it up. They have 3 quarters of football left, 4:17 to go before halftime, and they have to get the crowd in this BC Eagle defense on the field and the crowd out of it by moving the football and getting down and scoring a touchdown here. They have to answer BC in this quarter. I'll tell you what, this stadium filled up about halfway through the first quarter. These people like the tailgate, and they like the tailgate long, and even once the game has started. On first down, Jackson. Again, nothing there. Look at the safety, George White, up so close to the line of scrimmage and getting in on the tackle along with Adam Newman, number 88, and Mike Willits, number 98. John, their safety, their safety, George White, has been up at the line of scrimmage a whole bunch of times. Yeah, it seems like Boston College really is in the Miami huddle. They're really beating them off the line of scrimmage. You see there's no white shirts moving down the field on the offensive line. Nobody creating holes, and the cutback lane was cut off by George White, as you said, really hugging the line of scrimmage. On 2nd and 9, Kelly, poor throw to the outside, overshooting Bubba Franks. And Kenny motioning like Bubba should have run the pattern a little further down the field. as you look at Ken Dorsey and Zach Hart, the backup quarterbacks who relay the signals into Kenny Kelly. 3rd and 9 for the Hurricanes.
Well, I hope Hart and Dorsey can signal in something that gets 9 or 10 yards on this play, because if they go 3 plays and out, this BC offense gets back onto the football field, and you don't want to see that if you're a Cane fan.
3rd and 9 for Miami. Play clock at 10. Kelly out of the shotgun. Kelly with time, delivers high for Reggie Wayne, who points at his defender, Jonathan Ordway, but no flag is coming in.
Frank, it looked like there was some contact, but no flag. As you said, the ball sailed over the head of Reggie Wayne. It looked like a curl route on the inside, but with no complementary route, almost a one-man pattern to the left side with a back swing, and Kenny Kelly trying to get the ball down the field to pick up the first down. There may have been a little contact, but the ball was clearly uncatchable.
Capshaw to kick. Rush coming. Capshaw gets it away. DeWalt at the 42. Coming right up the middle. And we'll get into Miami territory at the 48-yard line. Mondrell Fulcher, James Lewis, Javon Rhodes, and Ken Dangerfield all in on the tackle for Miami. We'll take a timeout. There's 13 minutes, 22 seconds left to go second quarter. Boston College leading Miami 14-0. The broadcast rights to this telecast have been granted to Sports Channel Florida by ESPN Regional solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction, transmission, or other use of this program without the express written consent of ESPN Regional or Sports Channel Florida is prohibited. 1st and 10, Boston College. Washington trying to dance to the outside, and he'll go nowhere. At that time, Miami had the hole stuffed up. Dan Morgan and Michael Barreau combining on the tackle for the Hurricanes. Bring up 2nd and call it 9. They'll give Washington a half a yard.
Yeah, nice play by Dan Morgan that time. He was in the BC backfield almost at the time of the handoff, and a nice job forcing the running back outside in good pursuit. That time on 1st down, Boston College didn't go to shotgun or didn't show him an unusual front, and Miami was able to adjust.
2nd and 9, Hasselbeck out of the shotgun. Gives to Washington with a hole. Washington across the 35 and the 30, and finally ridden down by Edward Reed at the Miami 26-yard line.
Frank, that's just much too easy. Just a draw play up the middle in a shotgun set, 2 backs in the backfield, and Cedric Washington coming through, breaking tackles. Take a look right in the middle of your screen. All this is down blocking, and the linebackers are not getting off the blocks. You see Nate Webster, 52, and Dan Morgan to the left side, really on the blocks of the BC linemen, and that leaves a huge gaping hole up the middle for Boston College.
21 yards for Cedric Washington on the carry. BC now with a double tight end. Washington again with room. Washington to the outside, down the sideline, bumped out by Mike Rump. They say he stepped out near the 7-yard line. And Matt Sweeney slow to get up for the Hurricanes. Back at the 25-yard line.
Just losing the battles at the point of attack. Matt Sweeney and Damian Lewis on that play. On the right side of the defensive line for the Canes. Take a look, top of your screen. The BC linemen just wash everybody down. You see them from pursuit, nobody can get there, and the speedy Washington on the outside only saves the day is actually number 8, Mike Rump on the outside. He outran Outblades to the corner, but just that defensive front is getting pushed around, and the Boston College offensive line, credit them, providing 128 yards rushing to only 3 yards rushing for Miami, and there's 12-14 left to go before halftime.
We're working on Matt Sweeney's right knee, the senior out of Sussex, New Jersey. Trainer Scott McGonigal. Adrian Wilson into the ball game to replace Matt Sweeney. And Miami, not only for this game, but the rest of the year, they can ill afford any more major injuries. They've already lost Najee Davenport and Michael Smith for the year. And the crowd here at Alumni Stadium chanting overrated. And they've got a point with this, you'd have to say, in this game so far. Let's take a timeout with 12-14 left to go second quarter as they attend to Matt Sweeney. It's BC 14, Miami nothing. BC student body getting all over the Miami Hurricanes case as their Boston College Eagles have built a 14-0 lead and are threatening to stretch that lead with a 1st and goal just inside the Miami 8-yard line. Somebody tell him Halloween's next week?
Yeah, not a good way to go around town. I don't care if it's Halloween or not.
Well, it's been pretty scary for Miami so far. Matt Sweeney walked off the field, by the way, on his own, and hopefully that is not a serious injury. First and goal for Boston College. Play fake. Hasselbeck. Corner, end zone, and that ball is off the hands of Robert Ellis, the tight end. Chris Campbell back there in coverage along with Edward Reed, and BC had two receivers basically on the same patch of real estate.
And that ball was catchable. That was a nice touch pass again by Tim Hasselbeck. He seems inside the scoring zone. They love to go to their tight ends, and watch this ball. He puts enough air under it that it gets over the defensive secondary. You see there, number 20, Edward Reed trying to go up for the tackle or to break the play up, but that was a nice pass, bounced right off the receiver's helmet.
Second and goal. Carlton Rowe with the football, and that's an easy touchdown. 7 yards out, Carlton Rowe extends the lead to 20-0. John, that's just too easy.
That's the second time in this series that a BC running back has gone up the middle against Miami untouched. This time untouched until he gets into the end zone. Miami defensive front being pushed around, and this offensive line for BC and this crowd, they should cheer for their team. They've executed so well on offense, and they've held the ball, they've kept the ball away from Miami, and they've taken opportunities in their offensive hands and put 20 points on the scoreboard.
John Matic on to attempt the extra point. And it is now Boston College 21, Miami nothing. John, Miami just looks nothing like the team that battled Penn State right down to the wire and the team that gave Florida State a struggle in Tallahassee 2 weeks ago. We'll take time out. It's BC 21, Miami nothing. You see the score, Boston College leading Miami 21-0 with 12:05 left to go second quarter. As the scoring drive for BC, 48 yards, 5 plays. Carlton Rowe, an 8-yard touchdown run. And John, just too easy at the line of scrimmage.
Watch up front, BC pushing around white jerseys, and nobody actually touches the running back until he gets to the goal line. You see Edward Reed trying to keep him out of the end zone, but Carlton Rowe goes in really untouched, and that's unheard of in that series. There were a couple running plays right up the middle. No one touches Cedric Washington.
What it looked like to me on that replay was that Adrian Wilson was taking a slant, but he was the only defensive lineman that was doing it. So either he got the wrong call or everybody else got the wrong call, and that's what created almost a natural hole.
It was a natural hole. He went one way, and the BC lineman just let him go that way.
Like Sutphin's kickoff. Short, taken by Chris Campbell at the 15-yard line. And Campbell is going to go down at the 18. Well, BC just all fired up. They've had everything go their way. And Miami just has done nothing right. That's the only way to put it. Hurricanes will start 1st and 10 at their 18. And Kenny Kelly looks nothing like the quarterback that he was at Florida State. The Miami offense certainly doesn't look like it. John, you just wonder, you know, how could BC, if they've looked this good, how could they lose to Temple? I mean, it's
I'm
just
not that smart.
It's unfathomable to me right now. On first down, Kelly will throw, swings it out to Jackson. Jackson on his own will squeeze out about 5 yards on a first down play up to the 22. James, I don't know if we can get a shot of it, but he's got these huge ankle braces on. Of course, he's had problems with sprained ankles. And you'll see the big black ankle braces that go inside the shoe. Especially on artificial turf, it's not the best situation for a guy who has ankle problems. Yeah,
and he was not 100% coming into the Florida State game. You thought with rest it might help, but as you see there, needing the extra support.
Fake to Jackson, Kelly on the rollout. Throws down the field, and I don't know where he was throwing that ball. Santana Moss was going down the field, and Kenny, I think, expected him to break off to the sideline.
Well, Frank, a sad thing, sadly for Miami, this is getting contagious. The defensive team really laying an egg, and Boston College putting up 21 points early in this football game, and now the offense comes out, and they really seem to sputter, and they haven't been on the field at all, and now the crowd's going to stand up and get into this football game on 3rd and really a long 6 yards for this Miami offense.
On 3rd and 6, Miami stays with their standard personnel, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs. Total yardage so far is just incredible. Kelly swings it out. Jackson can't hang on. And it's Punting time again for Miami. John, I just don't know why. With Reggie Wayne and Santana Moss, I think Miami's got a clear advantage over Boston College's cornerbacks. I don't know why they're not going down the field at these guys.
Yeah, I think they really, in a hole now, they should have started the game doing that because it looked like that's where their advantage was. But now down 21-0, I don't know if you're going to get much out of throwing it, dumping it to your tailback.
Capshaw's punt with the wind at his back, and that's a boomer. DeWalt backing up inside his 20. And DeWalt will get it back across to the 34-yard line. Mondrell Fulcher and Javon Rhodes on the tackle for the Hurricanes, and BC will have it 1st and 10 at their 34. 11 minutes, 24 seconds left to go in the second quarter. John, again, it seems that Miami has the advantage on the outside, but they haven't thrown the ball. They threw one ball to Reggie Wayne, and that was overthrown. And they've thrown one ball to Santana Moss. And
one to Andre King that really was dropped down the Miami sideline. But BC clearly, their offense has kept the football away from Miami, and they've been very successful moving the football against the Miami team. Miami made their own bed with mistakes, and now they're having to sleep in it.
And now with 4 receivers to one side of the field, the pass out to Washington. And Chris Campbell hustles out there to hold that to no gain. But Miami was totally confused defensively as BC lined up with the empty backfield and 4 guys to one side of the field. Miami only had 2 guys out there defending.
Well, luckily enough, they hold it to a no gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. But Miami's defense cannot give up another point. If Miami wants to get back into this football game and have an opportunity to win the football game, they have to go goose eggs from 10:55 and counting into halftime. They cannot let BC get on the scoreboard again.
BC with 3 wide receivers aren't the only running back. The fullback, Hasselbeck, will throw. Hasselbeck now under pressure, just throws that up for grabs, and that ball is incomplete. Looked like the ball just came out of his hand as he was trying to get rid of it. William Joseph and Adrian Wilson putting the, Brian Stinson, number 95, putting the pressure on.
Well, credit the Miami defensive front that time for getting up and getting in Hasselbeck's face. As soon as one of the defensive linemen put their hands up, Hasselbeck really recocked and couldn't find his receiver down the football field, panicked a little bit in the pocket, and that time it allowed people to get to the quarterback, and that time Brian Stinson, number 95, gets to the quarterback.
Brian Stinson, who really has not separated himself from this pack of defensive ends, but he came up with the play there. On 3rd and 10, Miami in the dime package with 6 defensive backs. And the blitz coming. Hasselbeck throwing it up for grabs, wide open. Miami completely confused in the coverage, and he missed Dedrick DeWalt. Mike Rumpf, the ball went up in the air, and Mike Rumpf ran over toward the sideline and not down to where the football was thrown.
I don't know how this can happen. And Hasselbeck, he sees what's going to happen down the middle of the field, sees his receiver, and actually just put a little bit too much on it going into that wind. But he clearly had a wide open Derek DeWalt, and no Miami defender was within 10 yards of the BC receiver.
McMyler to punt. End over end kick. Moss will grab it at the 28 and run out of bounds at the 30. Run out of bounds by number 41, Marco Williams, the linebacker. So Miami dodging a bullet there on the long incompletion. John, you know, you'd like to say the fact that Miami didn't play last week, you know, an unscheduled off week has something to do with this, but I just think it goes beyond that.
I think it does too. They haven't come out and executed on either side of the football. They've made mental mistakes. They've jumped off sides to give Boston College opportunities to score early in the game, and now they can't even get into the football game. Not getting any first downs on offense.
Clinton Portis now in a tailback for the Hurricanes. Fake to Portis. Kelly with Bubba Franks wide open. Franks across midfield and still going, and finally driven out of bounds at the BC 44-yard line. Pedro Sereno made the tackle.
Well, finally, Miami on offense, they break the big fella free down the middle of the football field. He goes down the sideline. That's Bubba Franks coming from right to left. Kenny Kelly gets nice protection on the play action. You'll see 88 coming across your screen there. He takes the football on the hash around the numbers, makes one man miss to the outside, makes a spin move, and does a nice job of getting his balance, regaining it, and getting up the field for Miami.
1st and 10, Hurricanes at the Boston College 43. Kelly gives to Portis. Portis finally, there's a hole there to run through, and he gets across the 40, close to the 37-yard line. Scott Bradley, number 54, making the tackle for Boston College, but it was a pickup of 6 yards for Clinton Portis on first down. Finally, a positive play in the run game.
Frank, I'm no doctor, and I never claimed to be, but I just don't think that James Jackson, number 21, is healthy. And I think it's a good move to get Clinton Portis in the football game because it seems like he just got that burst that Miami needs right now out of the running game if they're going to run the football.
2nd and 4. Portis again. Behind a McPartland block, but too many BC players there. Chris Hoban, number 95, the All-American candidate, holds that to a gain of about 2. It'll bring up 3rd and about 2.5.
Nice play by Hovan moving down the defensive line for BC. You see the big senior. He leads, he has 41 total tackles on the year, but he leads by example. And that time, just too many red jerseys to block on the outside. Really no running room for the freshman running back from Miami.
3rd and about 2.5 yards. They have to get just to the BC 33-yard line. Kelly, pressure backside, sacked by Bradley. Scott Bradley's 2nd sack of the year, sophomore out of Hanover, Massachusetts. And that'll bring up 4th and 11, and Miami's going to have to bring the punt team on.
Well, every opportunity Miami's had to make a play, they have not, and BC's really capitalized on that. That time, Scott Bradley coming from the backside. Kenny Kelly never sees him. He has his eyes towards the Miami sideline. He never sees the backside. Unblocked is number 54, the sophomore linebacker for Boston College.
And Capshaw shanks the punt. And that is going to be a 7-yard punt where they have it marked. But Freddie Capshaw, who generally has done a very good job since taking over the punting chores, just totally shanks that one out at the BC 38. John, I don't understand the wisdom when you're on a hash mark of trying to kick it to that corner. As a right-footed kicker, you're on the right hash mark. The possibility of shanking is much greater when you're aiming for that corner. Why not aim for the other corner? Or just hang it up there. 1st and 10 BC. Carlton Rowe runs into Campbell and got about 4 yards on the first down play. There's 8 minutes, 11 seconds left to go 2nd quarter. It's 21-0 Boston College. And it's one of those games where just nothing has gone right for Miami.
And Miami has to find a way defensively, Frank, for a turnover. It doesn't look like the Miami offense is going to move the ball 10 or 20 yards, let alone 50, 60, or 70 yards. Miami's defense has to get a turnover now.
On 2nd down, Rowe again. Al Blades smacks him down right in the hole. Loss of about a half a yard. It'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Wow, huge play by number 7. Al Blades coming in and filling the hole from the free safety spot. He was in run support early in the scheme of things on defensively for the Canes. That time comes out and turns the Boston College running back towards his own goalpost.
Credit Al Blades with the tackle for loss of a yard. And it'll bring up 3rd and 7 for Boston College. 3 wide receivers in the BC formation. And Miami appears has called a timeout. John, if I'm a Miami fan, the disturbing thing to me is we've seen a number of times this year a lot of miscommunication on the sideline and you know, guys not getting into the game or guys not recognizing formations. We saw it against East Carolina where they had 2 guys defending 3 on that bunch receiver formation. We saw it today. You know, it seems like every play when BC breaks the huddle, Miami's defensive backs just kind of wait till they get up to the line of scrimmage and then they're scrambling around to get in position.
Yeah, the defense today really, from the start of the football game, never really looked like they were in sync. They gave a lot of room to the BC offense by formation, and they just haven't caught up to BC's tempo of the game.
Greg Schiano, the defensive coordinator, along with Butch Davis. And we're going to take a timeout. With 21-0 Boston College in the lead, 7:14 to go, 2nd quarter. We'll be right back on Sports Channel. Back to action here at Alumni Stadium. Boston College putting a hurt on the Hurricanes right now. It's 21-0. And BC facing a 3rd and 8 from their own 40-yard line. 3 wide out formation for the Eagles. DeWalt makes it a trip receiver to the bottom of the screen. Blitz coming. Hasselbeck forced up in the pocket and gets away and will have a first down, it appears, at the 47-yard line of Boston College. Chevin Marshall, the backup middle linebacker, making the tackle. William Joseph just doing a terrible job there, John, of getting off a block. Hasselbeck ran right by him.
Yeah, and that's the third time in this football game that Hasselbeck's been able to step up from the pressure. This time pressure from Dan Morgan on the outside to the left, and he just steps up. And as you said, Frank, you see number 94, William Joseph, still infighting and not finding out where the quarterback is. He has to get rid of that offensive lineman, find the quarterback, and make the play.
They measure for the first down, and BC has moved the chains. John, I'm just running out of things to say. I'm shocked that, not that BC's winning the football game, but they're doing it with such ease.
Well, I don't think it's so much BC. I think they're executing what they set out to do offensively. I think it's the ineptness of Miami's defense to really come up with a solution to stop Boston College. Every time they feel like they have people in the right spots, either Hasselbeck tucks the football under, gets a first down, or they get a big run by Cedric Washington, people not being in the right spots. There's no emotion on the sideline at all from the start of the game.
On 1st and 10, Rowe picks his way through for about 2 yards. Dan Morgan on the tackle. We're happy to say that Matt Sweeney is back in the ball game, so that knee injury earlier apparently was not very serious at all. 2nd and 8 upcoming for Boston College. 6.5 minutes to go, second quarter. It's 21-0 BC.
You know, Frank, for a team that hasn't played in 2 weeks and has been really on a different schedule, this team doesn't look hungry. They didn't look hungry to start the football game, and now being down 21-0, they don't look like they're trying to get back into this game at any point soon.
2nd and 8, Rowe, and this time Dan Morgan comes through and puts the smackdown on Carlton Rowe. A loss of 4.
Well, if there's been a bright spot, it's been Dan Morgan. He's back to 100%. He's been doing a nice job on Darrell Alford, the tackle, forcing Hasselbeck to get out of the pocket. This time, he reads it and goes like a bullet into the backfield of Boston College. No one loses their footing. Everybody gets off of blocks that time, and that time Dan Morgan, just an ISO on him, just a perfect tackle in the open field. Good form tackle that time by Dan Morgan. Wraps up and doesn't let go.
3rd and 12 for Boston College. 3 wide outs in, out of the shotgun. Hasselbeck with the blitz coming. Finds Rowe, and he dropped the football, or he might have had a big gain. Chevin Marshall there to make sure that Rowe did not make the catch, but if he had held on initially, John, that might have been a big gainer.
That would have been a big gainer. That time, Carlton Rowe, all he had to do was catch the ball, turn and follow his big blockers. He had 3 blockers out in front. A nice play by Hasselbeck to get the football out to him, and thankfully for Miami's defense, he did drop the football. That would have definitely been enough for a first down.
Greg McMiler in the punt. Santana Moss stands back at his 12. Low line drive kick. Moss will have a chance from his 16. And he will not get away at the 20. BC just flying to the football. Trevor White, the backup cornerback, making the tackle, and Miami starts 1st and 10 from their 20. John, I think you're right in one particular area. It just didn't seem like Miami came out with very much emotion in this football game. Right from the start, it just looked like they were kind of ho-humming their way through it, and now all of a sudden BC starts executing. They're moving down the field. A couple of costly mistakes by Miami on special teams, and bang, you're down 21-0. First and 10 Canes. Stretch play to Clint Portis. And Portis takes a hard shot and will go down after a gain of a yard. Number 41, Marco Williams there, along with number 6, Ramon Johnson.
Frank, there's just no running room for this Miami offense. Whether they go inside the tackles on a toss play or a stretch play to the short side, there's nowhere to run. In the pursuit of the BC defense is what surprises me the most. Nobody's losing their footing on defense. They're in the right spots at the right time, putting Miami in a lot of 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9, and 2nd and 8 situations.
2nd and 9 in this case for Miami. 4:40 left to go, second quarter. Fake to Portis. Kelly steps into his throw, and Santana Moss dropped it. Boy, does that sum up the way this first half has gone. Kenny's made a couple of bad throws, but that one was right on the money and in and out of the hands of his most dependable receiver.
Yeah, just getting contagious on the Miami offensive sideline. That time, Kenny Kelly stepping into this throw, a nice pass. Santana Moss, he catches that 10 out of 10 times. This time, he doesn't come up with it. The play action fake, Kenny Kelly staying in tall, You got to make this play, Frank. There's no way around it. You have to make the plays to move the chains, and Miami's not making them.
Third and 9. Blitz coming. Miami picks it up. Throw for Moss, and he can't hang on to that one either. DJ Sutton had the coverage. Kenny Kelly just looks befuddled.
Well, he's almost looking like he's getting betrayed. He can't do anything else but put the football on the mark. That time on an out route, a deep out route, you can't, you know, that one may have been out of the reach of Santana Moss with a wet football, but great players make great plays. In the play before, you don't get to 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9 if you make the catch the play before, and Santana Moss knows that.
I still think that was a catchable ball. It was a tough catch, but I've seen him make tougher ones. Capshaw to punt. This is not a very good kick either, but it's going to take a big Miami bounce. DeWalt got away momentarily from Aaron Mosier, but then he's dropped by Jeff Popovich back at the Boston College 26-yard line is where they'll mark it. So BC will have 4 minutes and 15 seconds left in this second quarter to try and do some more damage. And they'll huddle on the sideline and call their play there. Look at Freddie Capshaw, the walk-on punter. And his last kick prior to this one, a 7-yard shank, but it didn't hurt the Hurricanes. That statistically was a pretty good punt. BC goes with the empty backfield. And Hasselbeck in the shotgun. And whistle stopped this play.
Had to be some movement on the BC offensive lineman.
Line of scrimmage was the 26.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Johnny, if you go back to the earlier penalties on Miami on the special teams, that to me, okay, they're going to reset the game clock because the play never happened. It were the kind of penalties that showed Miami wasn't into the game mentally.
Lack of concentration.
Lack of concentration, lack of focus. And it seemed to permeate the whole team. Look at this, 67 yards in the first half for Miami's offense. Again out of the shotgun. Give to Washington. Trying to turn the corner, and Dan Morgan drops him at the 25-yard line. Pick up a 4 on 1st down for Cedric Washington after the penalty to bring up a 2nd and 11.
Well, it's almost like Miami came out with the attitude, whereas, yeah, we played Florida State really tough for a half, and we only lost by 10 points. How about that? You know, it really never seemed like Miami wanted to come out and prove a point to Boston College. And maybe they got too much credit in a loss 2 weeks ago. Maybe the team that we saw in the second half of that football game is what you're seeing an extension of today.
2nd down and 11. Hasselbeck with time, over the middle, tight end, complete to Brian Arndt, and Chris Campbell making the tackle there. He's about 3 yards shy of a 1st down. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. It has been all BC in the first half.
Well, the 2 players on offense I've been impressed with is Hasselbeck and Washington. Hasselbeck has the presence out there of a quarterback. He's making good decisions, getting the ball to the right people, and the explosion of Cedric Washington behind this big offensive line. You give him a crack, he can get it, you know, take it and move the chains by himself.
And Chevin Marshall just dropped to the ground on the Miami defense. Might be a cramp. He's holding his hamstring. He was getting lined up, and all of a sudden he just dropped like Muhammad Ali hit him with a right cross. See him massaging the hamstring. Well, that was strange. I don't think I've ever seen it.
No. Just about sums up the way the defense is gone today. Just things that out of the ordinary.
Falling flat.
Yeah, falling flat.
Chevin, the backup middle linebacker out of Princeton, Florida, down in the Homestead area, to South Dade High School. And he missed the first 4 games of the season with the academic suspension. But it'll be 3rd and a long 2 for Boston College. As we resume play and they restart the clock with 2:51 to go, second quarter. Now only 1 wide receiver in the formation, double tight end for the Eagles. Hasselbeck gives it to Washington, and Washington Looks like he has the first down. Dan Morgan made the tackle, and Washington stretched the football out to the 36-yard line. That should be good enough for a first down.
Yeah, this Boston College offensive line doing a good job of just getting a crack on the left side. You take a look at the guys moving the pile. Dan Morgan running it down from behind. But the defensive four, the front four of Miami, really spending too much time on blocks or not getting away from these big offensive linemen for Boston College. And that's been the story. They're dictating the way this game is going.
First down at the 36. Fake to Washington. Hasselbeck over the middle, complete, up to midfield. The catch was made by Jamal Burke, number 84. That's a pickup of 15 into Miami territory at the 49-yard line. Chris Campbell had the Miami tackle.
Jamal Burke does a nice job of staying on his route, getting down the field, but Hasselbeck gave him enough time to come in and out of his route. He was there, but there was traffic in the middle in the presence of number 7, Al Blades. He had his back turned to him. He let the receiver go around him, Jamal Burke did, and comes up with a catch for a first down.
From the 49. Give to Washington, look out. Washington to the 35 and to the 33-yard line where Mike Ruff made the tackle. Pickup was 16. Now 1:58 left on the clock. Another look at the last play. Cedric Washington just running wild in this first half.
Well, look at all the people getting knocked down in white jerseys at the point of attack. Number 96, Adrian Wilson, just absolutely punched out of the way by the offensive guard, Paul Zukakis, number 66. That enabled Washington to run free down the middle of the football field.
Hasselbeck to throw it on first down. Going for the corner of the end zone, too far for Jamal Burke. Leonard Myers had the coverage. It stops the clock with 1:37 left to go. You know, we're supposed to be sitting here analyzing this game, John, and I'm just running out of things to say about the way Miami's played in this first half.
Well, you can't say too many good things on the right side of the football field for Miami, but Boston College, you got to like that play on first down. You come out after a big running play, and you see Hasselbeck's numbers, 11 of 21, only 87 yards, but he's making good decisions. He hasn't turned the football over. He's got the one touchdown to the tight end arm.
2nd and 10. Give to Rowe. Rowe stood up by Chris Campbell. That play goes for no gain. Chris Campbell, the sophomore linebacker, making a nice play there, and Boston College will use a timeout with 1:29 to go and facing a 3rd and 10. Well, Chris Campbell stepping up and making that play. We've talked about how he's had opportunities to make plays, and Miami needs him to make plays if this is going to be a good defense.
Well, they need him to make plays on defense, but Dan Morgan keeping the tempo up on the defense as well. But the offense needs to get out on the football field, and when they're there, they have to do a better job of moving the football. But right now, Cedric Washington from BC, 15 carries for 137 yards on Miami, and we haven't gotten to halftime, Frank. It's 1:29 left to go before halftime, and Hasselbeck, you saw 87 yards, 11 completions with the 1 touchdown. And Coach O'Brien standing over on that BC sideline, he has to be happy with the way his team has performed.
And Greg Schiano, the Miami defensive coordinator, trying to figure out some answers and figure them out quick. His defense has been shredded in this first half. A couple of long touchdown drives, and you know, again, John, I go back to the mistakes on special teams, the 2 penalties on the field goal attempts by Boston College. And you say, well, okay, that's going to happen, but now you're turning 3 points into 7 points on 2 separate occasions. Instead of being up 6-0, BC's up 14-0. They're going, hey, we're controlling this game. We're blowing these guys out.
Yeah, there's nothing you can say about the way Miami approached this football game, the way they came out. It just looked like BC took it to them. They had a lot of emotion on their side. Miami didn't have any to answer with.
3rd and 10, 3 wideouts in for Boston College. Hasselbeck operates from under center. Give to Rowe, bounced into his own man, and he'll go down for a loss. Michael Barreau and Edward Reed there tackling him for a 3-yard loss. Michael Barreau just shoved Michael Cook, number 65, right back into the running back.
Yeah, that time, that's probably the first time they won the battle on the line of scrimmage. That time, you said Barreau just threw the offensive tackle, Michael Cook, into the backfield. Top of your screen, take a look at big number 93, number 65, Cook going on the outside to lay a block on the outside of Michael Barreau, but Barreau had great position, just shoves him into the running back for a loss.
Loss was back to the 35-yard line and brings up 4th and 13. And we'll see how Tom O'Brien decides to play it. Kick by Matic would be a 52-yarder into the wind.
Yeah, I'd probably think they'd want to pooch kick this ball, maybe pin Miami down and see how Miami
wants to play it.
If
I'm Boston College, I go for it. I mean, what do they have to lose, really? They're 5-1. They're beating Miami 21-0. If I'm O'Brien, let's go for it. Let's go for the jugular right now.
And they're talking about it on the sideline. I don't know what the outcome of this. I think they are going to bring the punting team out.
He's going to play it safe and punt, but I mean, the way Miami's offense has been, I don't think you're really risking a whole lot. Miami will go into their punt safe formation to cut off any possible fake. They're not putting everybody up on the line of scrimmage. It's almost like a normal defensive formation. Santana Moss standing at the 10, McMyler to kick. Let's try to hand it up there. Fair catch signaled and made by Moss at the Miami 14-yard line. So Miami will have 1 minute and 4 seconds and a couple of timeouts.
Looks like they have 2 timeouts remaining. I know they took one defensively earlier in the football game, but 21-0 Miami with 1 minute and 4 seconds left to go. Let's see how Miami plays this before halftime.
Look at Santana Moss coming up at halftime. We're going to be interviewing Big East Associate Commissioner Tom McElroy. A look ahead for the Hurricanes. First half highlights and stats all coming up at halftime here at Alumni Stadium. Kelly under center on the 1st and 10. Gives to Portis. Portis keeps the pile moving and will pick up about 5 yards to the 20-yard line. Rather, Jackson back in the game. Clinton Portis was in there for a couple of series, but they've decided to go back to James Jackson. And they said, Butch Davis said that James Jackson actually practiced a lot this week for the first time in quite a while. So that's a good sign as far as his health is concerned, but Miami's offense just hadn't gone anywhere in this first half. 35 seconds to go, and they're in no particular hurry, it appears. I think Butch just wants to get this half over with. There's Jackson, and you can tell he's not running anywhere near with the same authority that he was early in the season. That's a gain of 2. It just doesn't look like the same player, John. And now Boston College, it appears, is going to spend a timeout.
Yeah, and a wise decision. I agree with you. James Jackson does not look like he's 100%. Not only is it bad footing today because of the wet turf, but I don't think he's 100%. And he had 6 rushes for 10 yards. I just don't see that he has that explosiveness that he had at the beginning of the season. And
the burst isn't there. The drive, the burst that you see out of a good running back when he sees that opening. And it's just that he clicks that into gear real fast, and you just don't see that with James.
And there's nothing worse from an athlete of the stature of James Jackson that is explosive and then does make those 30 and 40 and 50-yard runs for touchdowns, is to be out on that football field and know you can't do what you want to do. Mentally, you're saying, there's the hole and I want to get to it, but physically your body doesn't allow you to get there, and that's just a terrible feeling for an athlete to feel.
It'll be 3rd and a long 3 for Miami with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Tom O'Brien's Boston College Eagles have played a near flawless first half. They have just jumped on Miami right from the get-go and have not let up. Fulcher in motion. Give to Jackson behind Mercier. Jackson, 30. And bowls over George White to the 34-yard line. And that'll stop the clock with 11 seconds left to go. Jackson picking up 13 yards on that carry. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. 21-0 Boston College with 11 seconds to go in this first half. And BC will receive the second half kickoff, by the way. So Miami's going to have to come out in the 3rd quarter and just do a lot better job of executing and playing with some fire and emotion. Just, I think the word flat is overused in talking about football in college and professional football, but I think it applies today.
Oh, it's right on the mark today. Miami just making a nice gain for a first down. They've spent 15 to 20 seconds trying to figure out what they want to do with the clock running at 6 and 5 and 4 seconds left to go before halftime.
Kelly under pressure. Got away from Bradley, and he's going to make a positive play out of this. Slips down at the 47-yard line. He'll pick up 13 yards, but that will end the first half. The crowd here at Alumni Stadium stands and cheers the Boston College Eagles as BC dominates the first half against the Hurricanes. At the end of the first half, it's Boston College 21, Miami nothing. We'll be back with our halftime activities, highlights, and stats right after this. Back at halftime at Alumni Stadium, where Boston College is putting a hurt on the Hurricanes 21-0. Nothing going right in that first half for Miami, and everything just going Boston College's way, John Congemi. And let's take a look at the first half highlights. It started the first time BC touched the football after a penalty kept the drive alive on fourth down. Tim Hasselbeck looks for his tight end cutting across the field. Yeah, Tim Hasselbeck did a great job of buying himself some time, put a nice touch on the football, and Brian Arndt goes in for the score. That made it 7-0 Boston College. After another drive, which again was kept alive by a fourth down roughing the kicker penalty, the freshman William Green takes it in from the 2. And it's all offensive line. They're pushing Miami back towards their own goal line. As you said, William Green goes in from 2 yards out. And then in the second quarter, Carlton Rowe, the number 2 running back, he takes an easy touchdown from 7 yards out. The most disappointing thing about this, really, no one touches him until he gets to the goal line. Paul Zukakis, the right offensive guard for BC, just destroying Miami up front. And Miami really did not get a handle on that BC offensive line. Take a look at the numbers. 177 yards rushing. That's going to make Greg Schiano just absolutely cringe. Hasselbeck hasn't really killed him in the air, 73 yards. But look at the number of plays, 51-27. The difference in total yardage, and also Boston College had the ball for over 19 minutes of that first half. So perfectly game plan, perfectly executed by Tom O'Brien's team. Yeah, very disturbing if you're a Miami fan, because you see the discrepancy in the plays that are run. Miami's offense really not getting an opportunity to get out on the football field, but that's due to BC taking the opportunities that Miami's given them, turning them into 21 points. Teams are back on the field. We'll be back with the second half kickoff right after this here on Sports Channel. Miami Hurricanes football on Sports Channel is being brought to you in part by Nextel, how business gets done. Call 1-800-NEXTEL-9. And by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Get in, be moved. Second half kickoff underway. Ball is boomed deep to William Green, 5 yards deep in the end zone, and he'll take the touchback. Jesse Olinger, the walk-on kicker from Delaware, booming that one, and John, that was into the wind. That's right, that was a big kick, because that wind is really going towards that Boston College sideline, pushing the ball as you look at it from right to left towards the BC bench, and a big kick by the special teams of Miami. Well, I'd love to have been a fly on the wall of Miami's dressing room at halftime. I'm sure there were more than a few blistered ears in that locker room. I don't know. I hope something was said and it takes effect in production, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Miami really looking out of sync in that first half. Boston College opens the second half with 3 wide receivers. Cedric Washington, the only running back. Hasselbeck will throw on first down. Over the middle, pass is dropped by DeWalt. Mike Rumpf right there in coverage. Frank, you kind of hope what happened in halftime was that, you come in and you tell your team, hey, that was one half of football. We got totally dominated, for the first quarter and the second quarter. Now it's a new half. You have to come out and show what you have. If you have anything left in your season, any pride left in you, you have to lay it on the line now for 2 quarters. Butch Davis searching for answers at halftime. His team played as about a poor a half as we've seen in the 4 years that I've been doing games with you, at least in terms of the talent that they have available to them. On 2nd and 10, Washington, nowhere to go, stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Al Blades up there in run support, got the first lick in, and then Chris Campbell there to finish it off. Yeah, nice job by Miami defensive front-wise. At least they held their ground that time, didn't get pushed around, and that's the first time that's happened, and that might be a good sign going into the second half. The Miami defensive line needs to pick up their play. They have to play with a lot more emotion and make more plays along the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 for Boston College. Miami goes with 3 down linemen and 6 defensive backs with Morgan and Webster in there at linebacker. Low snap, Hasselbeck had to pick it up, reload, fires complete to DeWalt, and he takes a big smack at the 24-yard line. Edward Reed putting the hurt on right there. So Miami on defense at least comes out fired up to start the 3rd quarter, and maybe the offense can catch a dose of that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go after the kick too as well. They have to make a play somehow, some way, and they've been doing it. Their trademark has been doing it on special teams for the past 4 or 5 years under Butch Davis. So let's see what they can do on special teams, their first opportunity. Kevin McMyler has had 2 blocked this season. Good snap. Miami came after him, McMyler with a nice kick. Santana Moss at his 36. Moss made 2 guys miss, still going, and runs out of the room on the sideline at the Miami 46-yard line. So that's where the Hurricanes will start. 1st and 10, their opening possession of this third quarter. 13:26 left to go in the third, and Miami trailing 21-0. But a positive sign, at least, 3 and out on the first defensive series.
That's the best 3 plays they've really defensively put together. They put a string of 3 plays together, and now the offense has to come back out on the football field with a shorter field to move on, get down and score quickly in the second half.
What about Kenny Kelly today? He looked so good against Florida State, and today just has really struggled. A couple of missed throws, a couple of times when it looked like he and the receiver weren't on the same page.
Yeah, and Kenny hasn't had a lot of help out there. A lot of balls have been dropped as well. Big play down the sideline to King that was dropped. Santana Moss missed a couple over the middle and 1 on the sideline. So Kenny Kelly, you can't pin a lot of the blame of the inability to move the football on Kenny Kelly. He has to have help with the running game, but his wide receivers, especially the big play wide receivers on the outside, need to play a little bit bigger. You can say one thing, though. Bubba Franks did a good job of catching the football and moving it downfield. 2 catches for 35 yards. I'd like to see him get the football more in the second half.
Yeah, no doubt. And with the 2 catches in the first half, Bubba actually has matched his season total of last year. Here's what's left for the Hurricanes. All Big East games. Next week at home against West Virginia. Then they go to Pittsburgh. They go to Virginia Tech, which, of course, Virginia Tech has just looked unbelievable this season. Rutgers and Syracuse, and then Temple, the rescheduled game from a week ago, which was postponed by Hurricane Irene.
And you kind of get the feeling, Frank, that none of those games will matter much if they don't pull this football game out, because it looks like Virginia Tech is clearly the upper echelon or the top team in the Big East, and it doesn't look like they're going to falter when they put a whooping on Syracuse like they did a couple weeks back, and what they could do possibly to either one of these teams the way Miami's played today. But BC looks like they're probably one of the better teams after going off of today's play.
Well, today BC can qualify with a victory, 6 wins. They'd be 6-1, and they'd be 3-1 in the league. And you know, all we have to judge by is the Big East teams going against each other. And based on what we've seen in the first 30 minutes, Miami is not in Virginia Tech's class, not by a long shot. All right, the officials whistle play, ready to go, and Hurricanes will snap it 1st and 10 at their 46. James Jackson in at running back with Mondrel Fulcher the fullback. That's Moss in motion. Kelly against a 4-man rush, complete to Wayne across midfield and down at the BC 46-yard line. Pedro Serino made the tackle. It's a gain of nearly 8 on 1st down.
Frank, we said early in the broadcast we thought the advantage Miami's offense would have would be at the wide receiver position against Boston College. Well, they've dropped some footballs early in the football game. They didn't convert with either the quarterback being off target or a drop ball. I like them going on 1st down right back to the wide receiver. Let's see if they can do that in the second half.
2nd and a long 2. Again, Moss in motion across the formation. BC jumps into the neutral zone, and flags go down, and they'll stop the play before it starts. And from the indications, it's against Boston College. And that will give the Hurricanes a 1st down at the Boston College 41-yard line.
Well, Frank, they desperately need 1st downs. In the first half, only 4 1st downs for the University of Miami. Compare that to BC with 19.
And 19 minutes of possession for Boston College. 1st and 10 Hurricanes. Delay give to Jackson. Just dancing around in the backfield, and nobody's, you know, Joaquin Gonzalez is standing there looking for somebody to block. Go find somebody and block him.
Yeah, that play from the get-go didn't look good, and James Jackson just really moving in the same place in the backfield, not going anywhere towards the line of scrimmage. Miami has not had success running the football against BC because it looks like there's too many bodies just standing around. No one's moving anybody. You see Joaquin Gonzalez 5 yards deep in the backfield. Why isn't he going down the football field trying to find somebody to block?
Antonio Garay, number 85, pushed Ty Wise back into the backfield and made the tackle. 2nd and 11. Kelly almost intercepted. Pedro Serino had his hands on the Ramon Johnson rather had his hands on the football. And again, John, it looked like a miscommunication between Kelly and the wide receiver Reggie Wayne.
Well, that was a curl route on the outside. Kenny thinking he's going to keep going inside and continue the curl route, and actually Reggie Wayne stays outside. Let's see if we can tell where the football goes football goes clearly inside, and it really was a gift to Ramon Johnson, number 6, if he could just hang on to the football.
3rd and 11 for the Hurricanes. Kelly out of the shotgun. 3 wideouts in the formation. Here comes the blitz. And Kelly's going to go down, still on his feet. Oh, finally goes down. Ramon Johnson came on a corner blitz, got a piece of Kelly, and that play lost 5.
Well, that's just a mistake on assignments. It looked like up front, and they let the inside man go, the most dangerous man go. Kenny Kelly can handle the outside pressure, but when you take number 44 and you go inside with the linebacker, you see number 65, Martin Bibla, goes out on the defensive back. You have to stay inside for the linebacker. Somebody has to account from inside out. That didn't happen for Miami.
There's Capshaw's punt, and that ball is not hit very well. And they're going to mark it out of bounds. Let's see, the official on the far side stepping up, and to the 31-yard line, and that's where Boston College will take over. That appeared to be only about a 17-yard punt.
If that, Frank.
Well, Miami just no rhythm offensively. And you see Butch talking to Capshaw. It's like, why are you kicking for that sideline?
Well, I don't understand it. You just kick the football down there. You're not trying to kick it 70 yards anyway. You just want to kick it about 40 yards or 35 yards, let the ball roll down inside the 10-yard line. That's just 2 bad kicks by Capshaw.
We'll take a timeout. It's Boston College 21, Miami nothing, 3rd quarter at Alumni Stadium.
5 things to consider about the Chevy Impala. It's new. It starts under $20,000. It's designed, engineered, and built to be carefree. It's at your Chevy dealer now. It's received the highest frontal crash rating possible. 5 stars from the federal government. The new Chevy Impala. As USA Today put it, it's a lot more car than you imagine, at a lower price than you expect. The new Chevy Impala.
Let's go for a drive.
Golf Digest presents 50 ways to lower your score.
To get greater distance, turn your right foot out. For a better backswing, don't slide. Turn your hips instead.
Now, lower your score, drive longer, hit straighter, and play your best golf ever with the 50 new stroke-saving tips in every Golf Digest. Call now for your risk-free trial issue. If you like it, get 11 more issues, 12 in all, for just $19.97. Plus, get this stroke-saving video free.
Call 800-543-6200.
Log on to sportschannelflorida.com for the best in Florida sports. Send email to your favorite announcers, link to professional and collegiate teams, and take part in interactive chats and polls. Log on today, sportschannelflorida.com. Boston College will snap it 1st and 10 from their 32-yard line. 11:21 to go, 3rd quarter. BC controlling the game, 21-0. Hasselbeck out of the shotgun. 4-man rush. That ball is blocked down and caught by one of the offensive linemen. Caught by Butch Palazza after Matt Sweeney had blocked the ball in the air. So that actually goes as a 2-yard loss on a completion to the center.
Hey, that's good hands. Did you see him go up and catch this football? Watch this. The batted down by Matt Sweeney from a right side of the screen right there. And you see the center, Butch Palazza right there, goes up at the highest point, tucks it away.
Play lost 2 yards, but Butch Palazza is going to tell his grandkids that was a 50-yard gain.
He went elevated to get the catch.
Absolutely. 2nd and a dozen. Washington the only running back. Hasselbeck steps up deep down the middle, and that ball's intercepted by Ed Reed. Ed Reed back to the BC 40. Look out from behind, and the ball's stripped away, and Boston College is going to come up with it. Cedric Washington fell on the loose football after Ed Reed had come up with the interception. Boy, you know, John, that sums it up right there.
And Ed Reed, had he stayed on the left side of the football field, I don't think anybody touches him. He had so many white shirts out in front of him. When he takes this interception, watch if Ed Reed goes to his left, our right. There's Nate Webster, there's Dan Morgan out in front. No one is there except for linemen. The only way he can get into trouble is go back across the field. You see DeWalt stripped the football away from him, and BC comes up with the loose ball. Incredible.
And basically right back where they started at the 31-yard line. Washington runs into the pile. He'll get a couple. Burrow, Webster, and Matt Sweeney all there for the Hurricanes. But just when you think something might turn the momentum around, you give the football right back.
Well, that was it. Miami had a golden opportunity to score on defense and make this a 21-7 football game. And Ed Reed was in the right spot in the secondary. He just might not be a running back. That's why he's playing on defense. He went the wrong way with the football and then gets it stripped from behind.
2nd and 8 for Boston College. 9:36 left to go, third quarter. Hasselbeck again out of the shotgun. 4-man rush. Hasselbeck, pass is incomplete. Going for Robert Ellis, his tight end. Good coverage by Chris Campbell. But the 43 of Boston College brings up 3rd and 8.
You can tell on offense now, Boston College out of their rhythm a little bit too. Nice play by Campbell, as you said, Frank, in coverage down the football field. But Boston College doesn't have those unusual formations and really no success running the football up the middle. Miami shut the door on the running game, and on the last couple of pass plays, Hasselbeck has been off the mark.
This is where you have to watch for the scramble from Hasselbeck. He's picked up a couple of first downs in this game doing that. On 3rd and 8, Hasselbeck, screen setting up, wide receiver screen to DeWalt. And DeWalt has a first down and more up to the 45-yard line before Jeff Popovich made the tackle. Gain of 12 and a first down for BC.
Nice call on 3rd down and nice running, inside running by DeWalt, number 11, the flanker. He makes the big play on the strip of the interception by Edward Reed. Watch the play by Hasselbeck, just turns and fires to his wide receiver coming in on the hit screen from the outside. A nice move there on number 7, Al Blades, in the middle of the football field. It seems like BC has been able to move better on this wet surface than Miami has, keeping their feet and making adjustments and with explosion of speed on offense.
First down, Eagles at their 46. 9 minutes to go, third quarter. Out of the shotgun, Hasselbeck again. Dancing around, now throws, complete to Arndt, his tight end, inside Miami territory. Make that Ryan Birch the fullback. And Chris Campbell making the tackle, pickup of 7.
Nice patience that time by Tim Hasselbeck. Wanted to go to the right side of the football field, but knew he had an outlet to the short side. Chris Campbell, as you said, on the tackle, but Ryan Birch on the reception for BC. Close to 8 yards, Frank, about 7 yards on the game.
Hasselbeck will bring the Eagles up on a 2nd and 3. Washington, the only running back, 2 tight ends in the formation, and both receivers split to the top of your screen. Washington. Nate Webster puts the smackdown on Cedric Washington and drops him for a loss of 2.
Well, it's not that BC can't run the football, they're just not running the football as effectively in the first half. The second half, really Miami having an answer, and this time number 52, we haven't called his name much, but there's a gaping hole there that he goes right through to the quarterback. Nate Webster taking down Cedric Washington deep in the BC backfield, and he didn't miss on this tackle, Frank. This was a crush from the linebacker spot. He comes deep into the BC backfield to make a crushing hit.
3rd and 5 for Boston College, ball just in Miami territory. DeJuan Daniels in motion. Hasselbeck with time. Down the seam, wide open Daniels, caught at the 30-yard line, and Mike Rumpf makes the tackle. Penalty flag down at the Miami 43-yard line, so let's check that out.
Tackled by Michael Rumpf. There's a flag on the play.
It's going to be holding against Miami, so BC will take the result of the play, which has a first down at the Miami 31-yard line.
Well, that's nice timing by quarterback and receiver. Hasselbeck just waited for Daniels to come out of the break.
Defense. Penalties refused. First down.
Frank, just a simple inside corner route, and watch the patience of Tim Hasselbeck and the protection of Tim Hasselbeck just to set in there and stand tall and then let it rip down the right side just over the head of Nate Webster and in front of Mike Rumpf, the cornerback for the Canes. Nice execution by Boston College.
First down for BC. Hasselbeck's numbers on the day. Washington with a hole. Washington tripped up by Ed Reed as he got to the 16-yard line. Pickup of 15.
Frank, just a gaping hole off the left side. It looked like Damian Lewis just ran out of the running lane where Cedric Washington was going to run. The defensive or the offensive line just took number 92 clear out of the play, and he's not doing anything about it. I think Miami right now is just taking it.
They're taking it, and they're not giving anything back. Double tight end for Boston College. Washington with the football. Got around Nate Webster. Cedric Washington inside the 5 to the 2-yard line. Ed Reed made the tackle. And that time, Webster missed him in the hole.
Wow, what a move by Cedric Washington. Just making Nate Webster go at air. He really off of his feet. Watch him shake. Watch the shakedown right here. Bang, he's gone. Nate Webster guesses right. Cedric Washington goes to the opposite side, and just a tackle by Ed Reed keeps Cedric Washington out of the end zone, but just really 2 back-to-back plays, gaping holes for BC in their running game.
165 for Cedric Washington on 20 carries. First and goal from the 3. Washington got away and scores. Cedric Washington adding another rushing touchdown. And the pattern we saw in the first half is beginning to repeat itself with 6:18 left to go third quarter.
Well, Miami came out of the locker room. They tried to put up a fight 3 and out on defense, but BC has an answer for them. They come back after the interception. They get the fumble back. BC's offense takes control of the running game, 2 plays back to back, and then they go in on the 3rd play for a touchdown. Cedric Washington having himself one heck of an afternoon.
He's having a monster day at the expense of the Hurricanes. John Matic on to try the extra point out of Hasselbeck's hole. And it is good. And with 6 minutes and 18 seconds left to go third quarter, BC has extended their lead. It's now Boston College 28 and Miami nothing. John, it reminds me of that Syracuse game a year ago where Miami just got hammered 66-13, and nothing they did went right, and everything the other team did turned to gold.
Yeah, but I believe that Syracuse team was much more talented than this BC group right now. But I tell you what, the scoreboard doesn't lie. 28 unanswered points. The Boston College offense just racking up points. And take a look at the patience on Cedric in the backfield right there. There's nothing there to the right side. A lot of bodies on the ground. All he does is put on the brakes, goes to his left, and he tiptoes into the end zone. Watch the move right here. He just stops, and he goes on to the left-hand side, and nobody really touches Cedric Washington into the end zone.
You mentioned it. You're seeing a lot of Miami defensive linemen on the ground, play after play.
They're just getting pushed around the offensive, both sides of the line of scrimmage. BC is dominating the line of scrimmage. I think they're a little bit bigger on the offensive line, and really they're taking it to Miami's defense. A scoring play you see there, 9 plays, 68 yards, almost 4 minutes. Cedric Washington on a 3-yard touchdown run. He had some nice runs in the first half, and he's clearly dominating the second half as well.
When you look at what Hurricane fans point to, back when Miami was winning a lot of football games before they went on probation, the one thing they always had was dominating defensive lines. They simply don't have that anymore. Damian Lewis is not playing well today. He's been a dominant player throughout most of this season. He's playing horribly today. Nobody in the defensive line really is stepping up. They just don't have enough playmakers on that front 4. And when you're getting pushed around in the front 4, it's too much pressure on the rest of the defense.
Well, I tell you what, Tim Hasselbeck is doing what he wants to do because he has time from that offensive line. The offensive line providing great holes for, as you see right there, Cedric Washington. I think the offensive line and the defensive line for BC should be applauded by their coaching staff. They've taken control of this football game, and they've really set the tone from the first play.
28-0 Boston College, and Miami just has done nothing offensively. Miami just making a joke out of the fact that they were 18-point favorites in this game. Mike Sutphin will kick it off. Payton and Mosier are deep. This will be Jared Payton at the 6. Fumbled it, picked it up. There goes Payton across the 20, and he'll get out to the 26-yard line. Pedro Serino in on the special teams tackle for Boston College. You know, John, even when Miami makes a play, the Ed Reed interception, and he fumbles it right back. You know, I'm almost at a loss for words. It's just incredible. I'm having a hard time believing what I'm seeing, that a team that played Penn State down to the wire, that was down 3 going to the 4th quarter at Florida State, is getting blown out here in Boston College. And I don't know that there's a good way to explain it. Miami double tight end on first down from the 26. Jackson has a bit of a hole and gets through to the 34-yard line. Picked up close to 8 on first down.
I think they're just getting outplayed physically, Frank. I just think they don't have an answer mentally or physically for BC today. You know, you're going to come out and have flat days, but to have such a bad day and have Boston College be on their game really makes it look lopsided.
And it seems like everybody's having a bad day.
Yeah, it's not one person. And it's very contagious today.
Moss in motion. Jackson again. Jackson spins out. It's across the 35 to the 36-yard line. He'll be close to the first down as Frank Chamberlain, the middle linebacker, made the tackle.
Yeah, nice play by Chamberlain, the middle linebacker. We've mentioned his name. It looked like James Jackson was going to spin out of that hole and really go down the Miami sideline. But number 44 in the middle of that football field stayed on the play. Watch him. He goes in. He doesn't commit to that first hole. He spins out as well as Jackson. He really mirrored Jackson along that pile and made a nice play.
John, you know more about this than I do, but the middle linebacker goes unblocked on that play. You've got nobody out there blocking the middle linebacker.
He was never touched. He made a good play. He didn't commit to the hole.
Jackson did make enough to get a first down at the 36-yard line. Kelly with play action. Going for Moss, and he makes that catch out at the Miami 45 and picked up almost 9. Ramon Johnson had the coverage.
That's a good throw on the outside because Ramon Johnson really was going to break it on that football, and had it been a little bit on the inside half to Santana Moss, he might have been able to, but a nice, really assertive throw to the outside with a lot of authority. Watch this play. You see the DB to the inside. He wanted to break out and cut in front of Moss, but he couldn't because the ball position was so great.
Second down and a short 2 for the Hurricanes. Here's Jackson. Good block from Fulcher. Jackson stutter steps his way to midfield, and Chamberlain made the tackle, but James Jackson will pick up about 7 and a Miami first down. But even on that play, John, it just looks like, you mentioned talking about the burst, it just doesn't seem to be there. You can tell his ankles aren't 100%.
Well, Miami's known throughout the years for their team speed. If anybody's watching this football game today, you would say Boston College has a little bit more team speed than Miami. You know, coming into the game, you'd say you're crazy, but right now they look like they're moving one step ahead of Miami all day.
First down Hurricanes at the BC 49. Kelly will throw it. Going for the tight end, incomplete. Aiming at Bubba Franks at the BC 40-yard line. And Kelly being helped up off the deck by Mondrell Fulcher as fullback, and perhaps the pressure from Chris Hovan accounted for the missed throw.
That's exactly what happened. Had he had another half a second, he'd been able to get the football down to Bubba Franks, who was wide open coming from left to right, but the pressure right in Kenny Kelly's face, he had to get rid of the football.
2nd and 10 Hurricanes. You see the score and the time remaining here in the third quarter. Kelly against the blitz. Got it to Jackson. There goes James Jackson. Puts his head down, runs over Pedro Serino to the 34-yard line, but Jackson is going to stay down for just a second. And now he'll get to his feet and walk back to the huddle. Gain of 15 for James Jackson on the 2nd and 10 play.
Yeah, man coverage in the secondary. That means everybody's manned up, and if you get into the secondary, you can break one. This is where James Jackson usually is very elusive. That time he almost looked for someone to hit, and Pedro Serino with a free safety came up and obliged him.
1st and 10 at the BC 34. Play fake. Kelly. Down the middle, incomplete. Overthrew Santana Moss. And it looks like Kenny has regressed to some of the problems he's had earlier in the year as far as throwing high to people. Not stepping into the throws the way he should.
That window was closing rapidly to Santana Moss. That was an inside route coming from left to right, and it looked like Santana may have broken off the route just a touch early, but there was not a lot of room to get the football in there. Kenny may be trying to throw it a little harder, and the ball took off high on it. 2nd and 10 Miami. 3 wide receivers in for the Hurricanes. Moss in the slot left. Blitz coming. Kelly to Andre King, complete at the 29, and he got away momentarily, and George White put him down right at the 29-yard line. It'll bring up about a 3rd and 4. Nice effort on the outside by Andre King of getting rid of the Boston College cornerback. He actually goes over his back. It looked like Jonathan Ardway on the left side. Number 28 goes right over the top of King, and King trying to regain his balance and go to the outside. Picks up a few yards, but still going to bring a 3rd and 4 for the Miami Hurricanes.
And BC needs a timeout. They were confused about which personnel they wanted in their defensive group, so they called a timeout with 3 minutes 35 seconds left to go third quarter, and the Eagles dominating the football game 28-0. There's timeout on the field, and we'll go away as well for just a moment. 3:35 left to go third quarter. Boston College all over Miami. It's 28-0.
This is an ordinary cell phone. This is Nextel, and it's going to change the way you do business thanks to Direct Connect, its digital two-way radio feature. Frank, you see it?
Not yet.
It ensures instant contact. Bridget.
Got it.
Cost a fraction of cellular.
It just passed.
And it makes other cell phones
Ready now.
obsolete.
Direct Connect from Nextel. How business gets done.
Watch Saturday Morning College Kickoff every Saturday morning at 10. Join hosts Frank Franchi, Brady Ackerman, and Terry Norville as they preview the day's college football games. It's 60 minutes of television's only pregame show focusing on Florida's college football teams. Preview the Gators, the Hurricanes, and the Seminoles, as well as reports on the University of South Florida, University of Central Florida, FAMU, and Bethune-Cookman. Saturday Morning College Kickoff every Saturday morning at 10, right here on Sports Channel Florida.
Nice move. Offside. Right. Yes! Touchdown!
Where are the games you really want to see? On ESPN Game Plan on pay-per-view. See over 100 college football games, your favorite teams from the best conferences, no matter where you live. Order ESPN Game Plan for maximum college football. To order, call your cable company, DirecTV, or Dish Network.
Join us for a day of golf on January 17th, 2000 at the Western Hills Country Club for the Hurricanes Golf Classic. For sponsorship opportunities, call the Hurricane Club at 1-800-GO-CANES. 3rd and 4 for Miami from the Boston College 29-yard line. Hurricanes with a goose egg on the scoreboard. Jackson with the, or rather Portis with the handoff, and he gets close to the first down. He probably is about a football shy. Chris Hovan there on the tackle for Boston College, and obviously Miami will have to go for it.
Let's see where they mark this football. I think it is just going to be a half a football shy, just shy of the 25-yard line. It looks like the first down markers just past the 25. So 4th in inches really for the Hurricanes, and desperately need to convert on 4th down.
Fourth down and about the length of a football for Miami. Fulcher in motion. They're going to run for it. Kelly fakes it, now goes. Kelly has the first down and a lot more, and slides out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Good call on 4th down.
Nice play by Kenny Kelly, using his athletic ability to get to the outside, and his speed. Really could have done a number of things. He did the smart thing. He needs really 12 inches to get the first down. He has wide open room to run. He tucks it, fakes it, he's going to pass, tucks the run. Stiff arms to the outside, and really almost runs out of real estate, or else he could have gone up the sidelines for a score.
It's very wet down in the corners of the field. We were down there before the game. That's where some of the moisture is really kind of clogged up down there, and Kenny lost his footing on first down. This is Jackson. Jackson trying to move the pile, gets inside the 10 to the 9. Miami trying to punch it in for the first time today. Antonio Garay made the tackle on the last play. Look at Richard Mercier, the All-American candidate at guard, but he and his friends up front have had a tough time moving this BC front four.
They really have. The 4 seniors up front for BC have really played a great day. And you see James Jackson, 7 carries for 23 yards in the first half, 6 for 34 in the second.
Kelly against the blitz, finds Will McPartland all alone, and Will McPartland will score the touchdown. The fullback, Will McPartland, coming out of the backfield. George White came over in coverage, but too late. And the Canes, with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left to go in the third quarter, are finally on the scoreboard.
You said it. Finally get on the scoreboard, and Hurricane fans have a reason to put their hands together. A nice play by Kenny Kelly on 4th down. Then he comes back on 1st down, finds his fullback, McPartland, wide open in the flat, and he goes in for an easy touchdown.
Andy Crossland will attempt the extra point out of the hold of Zach Hart. And Crossland's kick is up and good. With 2 minutes and 11 seconds left to go third quarter, Miami finally dents the Boston College end zone. The former walk-on, Will McPartland, the junior out of Scranton, Pennsylvania, with his 2nd catch of the year and his first touchdown of the season.
Well, what would have happened if Miami has that interception back? They could be 14 points closer to be tied in this football game, but McPartland finally gets him on the scoreboard. You see wide open, nobody there. Bubba Franks, there's 2 Miami white jerseys on the left side of the screen and only 1 defender out there. Kenny Kelly comes back, he sees it, his eyes are big as grapefruits out there saying, wow, just give me the football, and he lays it out to the outside. He lowers his left shoulder, and McPartland goes in for the easy touchdown.
Kenny Kelly's 9th touchdown pass of the season. It goes to the fullback, Will McPartland. And here's a kid who's worked hard to make himself a Division I football player. As you look at the scoring drive, 11 plays, 74 yards, 357 off the clock. So there's 2 minutes and 11 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Just talking to Will McPartland earlier this week, he really had no offers from Division I schools coming out of Scranton Prep in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Decided he wanted to walk on at Miami. His parents paid financially, and after 2 years, Will earn the scholarship. But here was a guy who ran about a 4.9 when he came to Miami, and he's gotten that down into the 4.6 range.
He's worked hard. He's really gotten a lot stronger, and he does a great job at the fullback spot, blocking primarily for James Jackson, and on special teams. But he's worked his way to get in a position, and you have to credit young men that do that. I mean, there's not so much you can say about people that have the ability and don't get there, but Will McPartland worked to get there, and that's just terrific.
Jesse Olinger, the walk-on freshman, will kick it off. William Green and Carlton Rowe will step back to receive for Boston College. Andy Crossan still bothered by a hip flexor injury. It doesn't seem to bother him too much on extra points or field goals, but he can't put his whole body into kickoffs like you need to. So Olinger, who did kick off against Florida State on a couple of occasions, has done the kickoffs today for the Hurricanes. Frank Fort, John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. It's been a long day for Miami. This kick coming to Green at the 8. Green nearly tripped up, still on his feet, and finally taken down by Aaron Mosier at the 31-yard line. And that's where BC will start 1st and 10. Javon Rhodes also helping out. Young man out of Texas, came to the Hurricanes as a linebacker, been switched to defensive end. They'll mark this one at the 32-yard line, and that's where Tim Hasselbeck and the BC Eagles will begin this possession. And whistle stopping play right now. The clock apparently has been running when it was supposed to be stopped. There were 2 minutes and 1 second, and now it says a minute 39.
39, right.
When the clock should have been stopped. Well, Jack Kramer and his crew will talk it over. Here's his instruction.
Please reset game clock. 2:01.
Is it just me, or does he sound like he's from Boston?
He might be a local.
I'll tell you what, I got to give BC some props here. They served clam chowder in the press box.
Best.
Oh, that was good.
Hit the spot at halftime.
Yes,
Frank.
it did.
A couple times.
Yes, it did. First down for BC. They lead it 28-7. They've dominated the football game. Washington in the eye. And that's Washington with the football. And Washington gets a couple of yards before William Joseph makes the tackle for the Hurricane defense.
This Hurricane defense, they definitely need to get another turnover. They had one with the interception of Edward Reed, but they gave it right back on the fumble. That's the only way Miami can really get back into this football game. They need a quick score, and they need the defense to provide that.
Look at the redshirt freshman out of Miami Edison High School. As Greg Schiano, the defensive coordinator, says he's just a baby. He's just learning this game. Both wide receivers to the bottom of the formation on this 2nd and 7. And Washington again with the football, and that time Damian Lewis came through and drops him down for the loss. And the BC fans didn't like the WWF slam.
No, they didn't. And number 48, Chris Campbell, also in there, looked like he was the one that the fans were displeased with when he got a hold of number 35, Cedric Wilson.
My bad, it was Nate Webster. It wasn't Damian Lewis. 52 instead of 92.
52, there you go. 52 and 48, combining Campbell and Webster. Really, Cedric Washington bringing him up over his shoulders and then slamming him down. But Miami has to show some emotion. I don't mind them being frustrated on defense right now. They have to get into this football game.
3rd and 10. Blitz coming. BC picks it up. Hasselbeck over the middle. DeWalt wide open, but Marquise Fitzgerald trips him up short of the first down. He picked up 8. He needed 10.
Yeah, and DeWalt, you heard the big moan from the crowd. It looked like DeWalt, all he had to do was turn upfield, and he falls forward for a first down. He tried to elude the Miami defender by going towards the sideline, and he came up short of the first down.
So Kevin McMiler into punt. Santana Moss stands at the Miami 20. We may not get this playoff, as you see the clock down in the corner, ticking down toward the end of the 3rd quarter.
And if BC's smart, they will punt it with the win.
Nope. They let the quarter expire. So we will go to the fourth quarter. The third quarter even, both teams scoring one touchdown, but the Canes can't afford to play even anymore. They trail it, go into the fourth. It's Boston College 28, Miami 7. We'll be right back here on Sports Channel. Start of the fourth quarter here at Alumni Stadium in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, on the campus of Boston College, where the Eagles lead the Miami Hurricanes 28-7, a rather stunning score. People around the country will look at this and say,
wow.
Wow. I mean, I give BC a lot of credit. They're 5-1, but their victories haven't come against anybody in the top 25. They're making their mark today.
And if you watched them play the last couple of weeks, you saw them against Pitt last week really have to come from behind. And Syracuse really getting blown out by Virginia Tech, and that really diluted the victory against Pitt the week previous to that. So, you know, this Boston College team really playing well today against a team that from Miami that didn't come out ready to play.
No, they certainly did not. And we are certainly at a loss to explain why. They haven't played a football game for 2 weeks. They had the forced postponement last week, and you know, all the indications were, or all the coaches were saying, these guys are really anxious to play a football game. They want to get out there and win a game. But it's now going to be 8 weeks before they win between victories if they can beat West Virginia next week. First downs in this game, 23 for Boston College, 10 for Miami. McMyler to punt. Moss standing at the Hurricane 25. Low line drive. Moss at the 25. Got away from one. Still going. And now finally being wrestled down at the 33-yard line. Ralph Parent, number 24, making the tackle, the backup safety. And Miami will start 1st and 10 from their 33. Santana Moss's 5th punt return of the day. But prior to that, he had totaled only 16 yards. Kenny Kelly, 11 out of 22 on the afternoon. It was a penalty flag back at the Boston College 45-yard line. So let's see what this is about.
On the return, holding, gets the receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
There's mistake after mistake on special teams today, and that's not going to make Butch Davis very happy, or Chuck Pagano, his special teams coordinator.
No, it seems like they've been hurt on special teams and by their own mistakes. You see the penalties, Miami 5 for 49 yards, and Boston College only 3 penalties for 15 yards. But Miami will start again close to the 20-yard line, and you can't ask this team on a day that they don't have their A, B, or C game to travel 80 or 85 yards. Even, you know, half the football field would be tough right now to put 4 or 5 first downs together for this offense.
5 penalties is not an outrageous total, but
not at all.
It's just the timing of them. The 2 on the 4th downs in the first quarter, which kept Boston College drives alive, and they subsequently scored touchdowns when they should have been just field goals. So instead of 6-0, you're looking at 14-0, and all of a sudden BC's they got their chest all puffed out, and they're saying, hey, we're controlling this team, we're running down the field against them, and they can't stop us.
And it's got to be frustrating for Butch Davis on the sideline. You see, trying to get his guys ready to go and get organized, because it just seems like one mistake after another, and it's just not 1, 2, or 3 people. It's the teams. It's the offensive team. It's the jumping off sides of the defense. It's the special team holds. It's the shanked punt. It's a missing a guy wide open. It's dropping the football when you are wide open. It's just a number of things that sometimes are out of control of a coach. You can't go out and play. You can only prep your team and get them ready to play, and maybe that was the mistake that Butch Davis underestimated his team of being ready to play today.
Boston College facing the toughest part of their schedule at Syracuse, against West Virginia, at Notre Dame, and at Virginia Tech. And Tom O'Brien has really kind of sold his team prior to today. He sold them on the fact that, hey, the tough part of our schedule is over, because the teams that we were expected to beat, we beat.
That's right.
With the exception of the Temple game. And he says, nobody expects us to do anything in these last 5 games, so we got nothing to lose. Let's let it all hang out.
Well, and Syracuse and West Virginia aren't the Syracuse and West Virginias of the past 3 or 4 years.
First down Miami at the 23. Kelly with play action. And that ball was nearly intercepted by Marco Williams.
And it looked like it was tipped at the line of scrimmage by number 95, Hoven. It looked like his right arm got on that football and really deflected it before it got past the line of scrimmage.
Hovan, who wears that eye black all the way down to his mouth.
Take a look at the left side of your screen, Frank, where Richard Mercier's blocking. See a hand come up right there and deflect the football? The ball was definitely fluttering before it got to the secondary.
Yeah, but you wonder, he was thrown into coverage there. That receiver was surrounded. 2nd and 10. Kelly with time. And again, that ball flutters out there and is nearly intercepted by Marco Williams.
And again, it was deflected at the line of scrimmage.
Newman is being given credit for tipping that pass. Let's take another look, see if we can pick it up.
There's really no pressure on Kenny Kelly, but they've got to get these arms down. Really, there's too much passiveness going on in the offensive line. You got to not only block your man, but dominate him, get him on the ground, or get him out of the passing lanes, get his arms down so Kenny Kelly can throw the football down the field.
Yeah, that time it was Hovan who got the deflection, working against Richard Mercier. Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 10. 4-man rush. Nearly intercepted again. Pedro Sereno, and that ball was thrown behind Reggie Wayne. Boy, it has just been a miserable day for the Miami offense.
I have not seen this Miami team look as bad as they have today. And it's really disappointing because they had everything in front of them. This Big East schedule right here starts today against Boston College, and they've laid a big egg today.
Capshaw with the punt. With the wind at his back. DeWalt at the 35. Not very good hang time on that punt. DeWalt got away from a couple guys, and finally Javon Rhodes will finish him off at the BC 45-yard line. Well, Tim Hasselbeck and company will start 1st and 10 from that point. Freddie Capshaw has had an up and down day, and the Hurricanes have just had a down day. 14:23 to go, 4th quarter. It's BC 28, Miami 7. Panthers. Tune in to Sports Channel Florida Saturday mornings throughout the college football season. The lineup includes Saturday morning college kickoff at 10, followed by the Jim Levitt Show at 11, Butch Davis Show at 11:30, and the Big Ten Game of the Week at 12. Don't miss any of the action Saturdays on Sports Channel Florida. Boston College and Tim Hasselbeck will have it 1st and 10 from their own 45 as we begin this possession. 14:23 to go in the football game. Boston College with a 21-0 halftime lead, and they've just been riding the wave since then. Carlton Rowe in at running back. He is the only running back as the Eagles go with the double tight end. Fake to Rowe. Hasselbeck with some time. Throwing deep, and that ball is incomplete, but a penalty flag on Al Blades. Mike Coazzo, the tight end, the intended receiver.
Penalty flags. It seems like, Frank, there's 3 of them, and all really Al Blades needs to do is turn his head in coverage because the tight end really ran an out and up on the outside, and as you see, pass interference against Miami. Really, Al Blades just needed to turn his head. He was in good position to make a play on the ball because I believe the ball was underthrown. You see the tight end waiting to go back for the football. There's no chance. Al Blades, face guarding him, runs right into him, but the ball is underthrown. All Al has to do is turn around and look for the football.
Yeah, if he turns around, he's got an interception.
15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
A 15-yard penalty will move it to the Hurricane 40. Now, by and large, John, Al Blades has played pretty well, but I think by and large the play in the entire Hurricane secondary ever since the first couple games of the season, after the first 2 games, has been a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, I think it's been very average. You know, anything you do today is going to be magnified just because you're coming out and you're playing poorly, but they just did not have a very impressive game to start the football game.
Carlton Rowe through a hole, picks up 7. Blades and Morgan on the tackle. Moves it to the Miami 33.
Al Blades on the tackle.
Carlton Rowe at 159 yards on 48 carries coming into the game. He has scored today on a 7-yard touchdown run.
2nd down and 3 at the 33-yard line.
And now Cedric Washington back into the game, giving Rowe a breather. Washington to the outside. Washington to the 30 and the Hurricane 25 before the tackle's made by Ed Reed. That's a pickup of 7 and a 1st down.
Everything BC's doing on offense, Frank, is working no matter where they want to run the football, whether it's between the tackles or using their speed to get to the outside. They're just chopping up yardage. And you see there Cedric Washington, 214 yards by himself. The entire Miami offensive total yards is 134, so you go figure that one out.
Well, I'll be sitting here scratching my head the rest of the day and maybe the rest of the week.
Yep.
Honestly, I've got no clue as to why Miami's playing this poorly today. On first down, Washington. Dan Morgan grabs him around the ankles and holds that to a gain of 2. Well, if you're a Miami coach or a Miami fan, you just got to be sitting there scratching your heads. It's going to be a long week down in Coral Gables, trying to figure out this thing.
Well, you've heard about going into this game. It's been so long since Miami has played, and you kind of wonder if they're taking this one off too, because they just came out today completely without emotion. It just seemed like Boston College took whatever they had to give, and then they gave it back twofold.
2nd and 9 for BC. Washington again. Leonard Myers wraps him up and then gets help as the play gains a couple to the 21-yard line. Bring up 3rd and about 7. You know, early in the season, John, you look, you know, Miami beats Ohio State in the kickoff classic, then an easy win over Florida A&M. They play Penn State right down to the wire in a game they probably should have won, and they lose that to the number 2 ranked team in the country. You're thinking, well, you know, we got a pretty good football team, and then they go to East Carolina and blow a 20-point lead. They play well against Florida State and then just come out here in the Big East opener for them and just, you know, we've said it before, they just lay an egg, and you got to wonder, you know, Miami looked at one point to be a pretty good football team, but you certainly can't say that after today. On 3rd down, blitz coming, and Hasselbeck going to run. Hasselbeck gets outside, bumped out of bounds at the 16-yard line. That'll be 2 yards short of a first down. And Al Blade saying to the official, how about a holding call?
Yeah, Hasselbeck's done that a number of times. He's tucked the football underneath his shoulder and tried to get a first down. He was successful 3 times in the first half. This time, just a lot of white jerseys and a lot of yardage and a real estate to overcome. You see number 22, Leonard Myers, pushing him and knocking him out of bounds. He's coming up just shy, 2 yards shy of the first down. That'll bring up the bring on the special teams and kicking team for BC.
John Madich will line it up from 33 yards out of Hasselbeck's hold. Snap is good. Madich kick on the way, and it is no good. Missed it wide left. So John Madich, who has really struggled in field goals this year, 5 out of 12 coming into the game, misses that one. We're going to take a timeout. There's 11 minutes, 29 seconds left to go at Alumni Field at Boston College, where the Eagles lead Miami 28-7. Join the Broward Hurricane Club for hurricane watch parties throughout the football season. Join other Hurricane fans and alumni at Arena Sports Bar, 1135 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and cheer on the Hurricanes. For more information, contact Paul Miller at 561-241-0823. Well, what they're watching today is not pretty. Miami with 123 yards total offense, and we're almost 4 minutes into the 4th quarter. Kelly will operate out of the shotgun. Kenny swings it over the middle to Bubba Franks. Franks taken down by Chamberlain and Williams at the 27-yard line. Gain was 7. It'll bring up 2nd and 3.
Kenny Kelly looking like he wants to go to the no-huddle offense with 11-14 and counting. Miami desperately needing 3 scores to tie the football game. They have to go no-huddle and show some urgency here in this 4th quarter.
On 2nd and 3. Kelly again over the middle to Franks. Gets away at the 35, across the 40, and still going. Finally, Jonathan Ordway tackles him at the 47-yard line, a gain of 20 for Bubba Franks.
Well, something we talked about at halftime, Bubba had 2 catches for 35 yards. We thought that Miami needed to go back to him in the second half, and they go back to him on 2 consecutive plays. Watch Bubba on the left side of your screen. He'll be open for about 5 seconds, it seems like, and we're just waiting for Kenny Kelly to throw the football to him. He gets it, and then he breaks a number of tackles.
Kelly to Andre King, complete into BC territory at the 46-yard line. Ramon Johnson making the tackle. That's a pickup of close to 8, and Miami will stay in the hurry-up. 2nd and 2. Kelly still out of the shotgun. He's going to run this one. Kelly will have a first down and will smartly get out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. John Kajemi, my partner, is counting bodies.
12, I count 12 red shirts. I don't know about you.
Well, that's a good way to play defense. Right? You can get away with it.
And Kenny still gets away with a big game. Yeah, it looked like on the play before, Ramon Johnson had a burner in his neck. He ran off. Trevor White came on the football field, and they had another corner get on. So that last play was definitely with 12 players, and it didn't matter to Kenny Kelly. He made a big play to the left side of the football field.
Kelly got it down to the BC 32-yard line. First down Miami, and now he operates from under center. Frank's in motion. Kelly screen pass the other way to James Jackson. Got a lot of room downfield. Jackson will take it in for a 32-yard touchdown. It's JJ all day, every day. James Jackson with a Hurricane touchdown.
Nice setup by Kenny Kelly. He held the football, and he brought those senior defensive linemen, Willits, Newman, Hoven, and Guthrie, all to him. He dumps the football out to James Jackson, and then he splits defenders about the 10-yard line and walks in for the Hurricane touchdown.
Andy Crossland in to attempt the extra point as you get a look at James Jackson, the junior out of Belglade, Florida. 6 catches coming into the game for a 7-yard average. That is his first touchdown by reception. Crossland's extra point is up and good. And with 10:07 left to go in the fourth quarter, Miami has narrowed it to 28-14. We're going to take time out. Hurricanes get on the board for the second time today. 10:07 left to go fourth quarter at Boston College. The Eagles lead at 28-14. 10:07 left to go fourth quarter. Boston College has had their lead narrowed to 2 touchdowns as a beautiful screen pass set up by the Miami Hurricanes. And watch how Richard Mercier gets down the field and is able to throw a block.
Yeah, and Kenny Kelly just drifting to his right a little bit, bringing those defensive linemen to him. You see Richard Mercier, and you see also number 87 down the football field, Reggie Wayne, already on the ground, laying a terrific block on one of the defensive backs. Looked like number 28, Jonathan Ardway, the cornerback, and did a nice job downfield blocking, providing the room for Jackson to go in for the score. You see the scoring drive, 5 plays, 80 yards, taking up a minute 22, a 33-yard reception by James Jackson.
Well, that's just what the doctor ordered, not only a touchdown, but only taking a minute 22 off the clock. If Miami's got any prayer, that's what they needed to do in the hurry-up offense.
Yeah, and they have to find a way either when special teams or defense to turn the football over from BC's offense.
Short kick, bouncing around. Carlton Rowe picks it up, and then he gets leveled. James Lewis coming through and leveling him in Boston College. Fortunate that that ball didn't wind up in Miami's hands.
Yeah, that's the type of play Miami was looking for. Something on special teams, creating havoc. And you said number 23, James Lewis, coming, ripping down the right side of the football field for special teams. Watch the hit he lays here. He just knocks out number 4, Carlton Rowe. And luckily for BC, Rowe hangs on to the football.
First down BC at the 18-yard line. Washington lost the football.
There he is.
Picked up by William Joseph. He fumbled the football. The ground caused it. The linesman on the far side says the ball came out when he hit the ground at the 6-yard line. Oh my.
That's exactly what we were talking about, Frank. The special teams or defense needed to come up big, and that's exactly what happened. William Joseph gets a Cedric Washington fumble, almost goes in for the touchdown, but he gets the ball down to the BC 6.
Let's take another look at it, try and find out who ripped that ball out. Looks to be Chris Campbell, number 48.
Number 48, a hand on the football, and you see number 94, William Joseph. Definitely the ball hits the ground, and that causes the fumble, but a big play by the defense for the Canes. Take a look at this other angle right here. Definitely hits the ground, and when he hits the ground, the ball pops out.
That's a good call. William Joseph with the fumble recovery, and suddenly Miami's got life from the 6-yard line. Jackson trying to get to the outside. James Jackson, JJ all the way every day. JJ touchdown.
Well, now it's a ball game.
Oh my goodness.
And the egg still smells, but it's smelling a lot better right now, Frank.
Wow. An Andy Crossland conversion can pull the Hurricanes within a touchdown. And once again, Richard Mercier sealing to the inside.
Unbelievable. We talked about the last drive that Miami had was a minute 32. This time the drive might take all of 7 seconds off of the clock. And with 9:45 left to go, could be a 7-point game.
Crossland on to try the conversion. Zachary Hart will hold. Good snap. Kick is on the way, and it is good. And with 9 minutes and 45 seconds left to go fourth quarter, it's suddenly Boston College 28 and Miami 21.
This is unreal. Unbelievable that you would think the way the Miami Hurricanes have played today that they could be 7 points they could be 7 points away from tying this thing up. Here's another look at the touchdown. James Jackson just using his speed to the outside. He waited for Richard Mercier to come out in front, and then he figured, well, I can't wait too long. I got to try to get to that front pylon. He's still limping. It looks like he's still banged up a little bit. 2 series ago, he looked like he went into the training room, went into the locker room just beside the Miami bench, but there he uses his speed to get to the outside, gets to that front pylon, and gets in for the Hurricane touchdown.
We've seen some strange things happen in 4 years. This is our 4th year together doing games, and we've seen some crazy things, but
if this happens,
this is going to rank right up there.
This will be at the top.
It's already a little bit crazy. James Jackson digging down deep and finding a way to score 2 touchdowns. And the Boston College crowd a little bit stunned right now, and the Miami rooting section over in the far right corner is on their feet trying to urge the Hurricanes on.
Unbelievable. This crowd that really has to be shaking their heads. Boston College totally dominated the first half of this football game, and for that matter, the third quarter of this football game.
We talk about having a handle on a football game. BC not only had a handle on this game, they were taking it and crushing it like an empty soda can.
Oh, man.
And then all of a sudden they find themselves in a dogfight.
Just when you thought there was nothing left of these Hurricanes, they come up and they score 21 unanswered points.
Well, again, it's up to special teams and defense to try to make something happen. There's still a lot of time for both teams in this game.
Yeah.
9:45 left to go, and Jesse Olinger will kick it off. Look at James Jackson. First half, 23 yards. Second half, 54 yards, plus 7 carries in the first half, by the way, that should read, plus the 32-yard touchdown reception.
Well, let's see what the Miami special teams does again here. Whether they pooch kick and try to kick it high and short, or they try to kick it deep and make a play that way.
Olinger to kick off. He's going to hang this one high. And Carlton Rowe at the 2-yard line looking up into the sun. Rowe will not get to the 20. He's down at the 16-yard line. Nick Ward in there along with Jeff Popovich on the Hurricane special teams. So Hasselbeck leads his offense onto the field, and they'll start at their 16-yard line. 9:34 left to go in the fourth quarter. Look at Nick Ward, senior from Dallas, Texas. Done a very nice job on special teams this year for the Hurricanes.
In the middle of that Miami defense, Nate Webster is not on the football field. He's on the sidelines right now. I don't know if he's injured, but you see number 41, Chevin Marshall, also with number 44, Dan Morgan, and number 48, Chris Campbell as the linebackers for the Hurricanes.
Hasselbeck will operate out of the shotgun. Hasselbeck complete to the tight end Arndt up to the 25-yard line. Chris Campbell there for the tackle, will be about a yard shy of a first down. Picked up 9.
Yeah, that's a combination that worked very well in the first half for BC. Hasselbeck to the big tight end, 6'4", 255-pound senior Brian Arndt, number 86.
That'll bring up 2nd and 1 for Boston College. Actually turned into a very nice day. It was cloudy and a bit rainy this morning, and the sun's been shining throughout most of the second half. 2nd and 1, BC goes with the I formation. Washington, he gets crushed in the backfield. Matt Walters in there for the Hurricanes, number 91, the backup defensive tackle, along with Chevin Marshall, the aforementioned Chevin Marshall. And that'll bring up 3rd, and now 2 as he lost a yard.
Yeah, actually loses a yard, and you see number 91 in there doing a good job. And that's the first time in a long time this defensive front has really bowed their back. They did a good job to start the third quarter, coming out going 3 and out. They definitely need to do that again, try to get 3 and out and get the ball back to the offense.
3rd and 2 for Boston College. Fake to Washington. Hasselbeck's throw to the tight end Arndt is complete to the 32, and he'll have a Boston College first down. Rolled out of bounds by Edward Reed.
lot of cushion and man coverage that time by Edward Reed, and you can't do that when it's 3rd and 2 and you got a big tight end. See, Edward Reed knows he has the first man out to the weak side, and that's the tight end. He was inside the hash, and the tight end was already out by the number, so an easy pitch and catch for Hasselbeck to Arndt.
Well, that, I think, John, is a result of BC running the ball so effectively most of the game. He's conscious of that run support. First down from the 32. Washington. This time stacked up by Chevin Marshall and no gain on the play. Chevin Marshall in there in place of Nate Webster. Made a couple of nice plays in this defensive series. Pickup of a yard on the last play. You look at Washington with a career high.
Wow, big day. 29 rushes for 192 yards and a 6.6 average. He's done a terrific job running the football. And what I'm most impressed about, we talked about in the open how he was a good tackle runner inside, but he's shown big speed and a lot of moves between the tackles.
2nd and 9 for Boston College. Hasselbeck goes back into the shotgun. He shows blitz but doesn't come. Hasselbeck will run out of trouble. And he'll slide down at the 37-yard line with Marshall and Mike Burrow both there. Hasselbeck picked up about 3. It's going to be 3rd and 6.
Miami has to answer defensively on one of these 3rd down opportunities. They missed on the 3rd and 2. Now they have a 3rd and about 6 to go. They have to come up big somewhere in the secondary. Somebody has to make a play.
Miami with 1 interception on the day by Edward Reed, but he gave that right back with a fumble on the return.
How big is that play right now?
You look back at that play right now, and that could be huge. Six and a half minutes left to go. And Hasselbeck wants a timeout. BC spending one of their 3. They still have 2 remaining. Miami has their full complement of 3 timeouts remaining in this second half. 6 minutes, 27 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. Boston College had a 28-0 lead in this game, and it's 28-21.
It's unreal, and it's very fortunate that BC decided to take a timeout there. They were confused. Well, I think the Miami secondary was a bit confused, and it's a good opportunity for Butch Davis to get the guys on the sidelines, get them in the defense they want to come out on 3rd down, and make sure they know of all the adjustments. If they motion across the formation, here's what I want you to do. Dan Morgan asking Coach Butch Davis a question, and there you see Coach Schiano in the middle of it. They want to be all on the same page because this is a critical point in this football game. If Miami has any chance to get back and tie this football game, they have to make a big stand on 3rd down.
Let's take a look at the series history between these two teams. Miami's won 17 out of 20, including the last 9. The last Boston College win, well, need I say it?
No, I don't think
that's a legendary game in New England, that's for sure. And Miami's won every time they've played in Big East play.
That's the man right there.
That is the man. Still going strong with the Buffalo Bills.
He really is. He's making believers out of a lot of people that didn't think he could come back and do it.
All right, here we go. 3rd and about 6. Hasselbeck out of the shotgun. DeWalt motions to make it 3 wide receivers to the top of the screen. Hasselbeck under pressure, now trying to run out of the pocket. Hasselbeck throwing down the field, nearly intercepted by Leonard Myers. Good pressure by William Joseph, did a terrific job that time, keeping Hasselbeck from getting around the corner and running for that 1st down. Cedric Washington was the intended receiver.
And credit the Miami secondary for staying in coverage. That time Hasselbeck was trying to make a play, and it looked like just for an instant the secondary was going to come up and try to make the play on the quarterback. They hung in coverage, and they let William Joseph provide the pressure.
Myler to punt. Santana Moss back to receive it. Bit of a low snap. Myler gets it away. And a good kick into the wind. Moss with a fair catch at the 22-yard line. That's where Miami will start 1st and 10. 6 minutes, 13 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. They'll mark it at the 24. And now the BC crowd trying to urge their defense on. Well, I'm sorry, John. BC was able to make 1 first down and take some more time off the clock. But then Miami forced the punt, so now it's back on the offense.
Well, if Kenny Kelly ever decided to get hot and those receivers decided to make big plays, now's the time. They desperately need to go down the football field and execute. Not get it all with one big pass, but execute every play.
3 wide receiver formation, 1 running back. And it's Jackson with the football. James cutting back. Jackson at the 30. Got a good block. James Jackson at the 40. And finally, Serino runs him down near the 44-yard line.
Now that's the running we're more used to seeing from James Jackson, number 21, the cutback and the elusiveness and the speed. And it seems like Miami's still going to go with that no-huddle offense. But watch the cutback. James did not do this for 3 quarters. I don't think he was able to because of the injury. Now he's trying to suck it up and come up with a big play. And watch the move at the end here. He does a nice job of getting away from the last defender for a big play.
Kelly out of the shotgun, complete to Franks at midfield. And Bubba goes down under a pile of defenders after picking up 8 yards. Scott Bradley in on the tackle, making the first contact for BC. They'll mark it at the Eagle 49, so the gain of 7 will be 2nd and 3. Kelly, incomplete. Andre King could not make the catch, and now it's 3rd and 3.
That's a play you have to make, even though the ball's not thrown right to you. Andre King's got to come up with that play. He dropped a big bomb early in the first half, and it's close enough to make the catch. Kenny Kelly just wanted to go real quick with the short drop out of the shotgun. The ball's on the inside, but you're standing out there by yourself. You got to make that catch.
Got to move your feet and try and get closer to the football. Kenny's numbers today. 3 wide receivers in on a 3rd and 3. Give to Jackson, he's got a hole. Jackson first down and more. JJ to the outside, and he's just tripped up at the 30-yard line. A saving tackle there by Jonathan Ordway. But it's a first down for the Hurricanes.
Wow, what a play on 3rd down. James Jackson shows the patience of waiting for Richard Mercier to kick out that block right there. Just got a hand on number 6, Ramon Johnson, but that's all he needed. Then JJ goes to the outside, and as you said, Frank, a stumbling Jonathan Ordway really shoestring tackle on the outside, or James would have got another 5 to 10 yards. Take the move right there, and a nice block by number 6, Santana Moss, just getting in the way of the defender down the field. 5 minutes, 15 seconds to go, 4th quarter. From the 28-yard line, Kelly runs out of trouble, will take what he can get and go out of bounds at the BC 22. Made 6 yards. It's a good play by Kenny Kelly. Very heads up, knows he can contribute to this drive by just making plays and getting out of bounds. That was the most important thing.
Jonathan Ordway ran him out after a gain of 6, 2nd and 4 Hurricanes. Clock stopped now with 5:05 left to go. It's BC 28, Miami 21. Well, you harken back to that game 2 years ago where Miami had the big lead, then gave it up and was forced into overtime, where they eventually won it. First overtime game in UM history. On the 2nd and 4, Jackson. Jackson now finding some room to run, and he'll have a first down to the 17-yard line of Boston College.
Nice drive by Miami. They come up with the no-huddle offense right off the bat. They started back at their 24-yard line, and now they put on successive plays, getting the football down inside the BC 20-yard line. The ball looks like it's resting about at the 17.
Antonio Garay made the last tackle. Miami still with the 3 wide receiver formation. Jackson the only running back as Kelly goes from the shotgun. Kelly to Andre King. He made the catch at the 10-yard line despite very good coverage. Jonathan Ordway was all over Andre King, but Andre will pick up close to 7 yards on the first down play.
And Miami goes no huddle again. Ball just about at the 10-yard line. Big concentration that time by Andre King, and a nice delivery of the football by Kenny Kelly.
2nd and 3. Jackson on the delay. Mercier in front. And Jackson this time has nowhere to go. Adam Newman, number 88, making the contact. That'll bring up a big 3rd and 3 for Miami.
I think they want a timeout. The Miami offense looks like they want to call a timeout and talk about this.
And that's exactly what Kenny Kelly does. Well, that time JJ a little bit hesitant. As you see, 95 yards here in this second half. So he's up over 100.
Frank, I can't believe that Miami is in a position to go in on 3rd and 3, the ball on the 10-yard line. They actually have a chance to go in and tie this football game. I didn't think it would get to this.
I've had a hard time believing what I've been seeing all day, so why should it be any different now, huh? Whew, boy. I'll tell you what, this gets the blood pumping and the fingernails digging into the chair or whoever's sitting next to you, no matter which team you're rooting for right now. Well, Miami obviously in 4-down territory. with 3 minutes and 56 seconds left to go and trailing by a touchdown.
Well, the posture of BC's defense in this drive, they really haven't pressed anybody on the corners. They've been playing almost a 4 deep, a real soft cover 2, which means the cornerbacks are playing off about 7 to 10 yards, and there's 2 defensive backs on each hash, and on the previous 2 plays, that's exactly what they did. So Miami does not have the ability to go up for a fade route, a quick pass to the outside to their big wide receivers and go up and use their ability. So you might watch Kenny Kelly to work something into Bubba Franks or a back coming out of the backfield.
I would like to see Kenny on a roll, some kind of rollout here, get him on the perimeter, and really put the pressure on the defense.
What they did with Will McPartland on that 4th down when they faked the run on the inside and Kenny came out with the football and just dropped it to Will McPartland. I really think I would look for Bubba Franks. If BC doesn't pressure the corners outside on the wide receivers, I'd look for Bubba Franks to come in and make a big play here.
3rd, and it's actually closer to 3 than 4 yards. Fulcher in motion. There's the fake. Kelly on the rollout. He got away, throws. Bubba Franks, touchdown Miami. Oh my goodness. Bubba Franks, and just as we were saying, John, get Kenny on the perimeter and put the pressure on the defense. He did, and threw a 10-yard touchdown pass to Bubba Franks.
Well, credit Kenny Kelly. He was the athlete that got rid of the cornerback with a stiff arm, gets him to the outside, and he finds his big tight end, Bubba Franks. Credit Kenny Kelly, though. He made the play, and Bubba Franks did a nice job knowing where he needed to get for the first down, but he actually gets into the end zone for the touchdown.
Crossland's conversion out of Zach Hart's hold. Kick is up, and it is good.
Unbelievable.
And with 3 minutes, 51 seconds left to go, Miami has tied it at 28.
Frank, you just can't, I can't explain it because I never thought Miami would be in a position to do this, but they are, and they've done it. It's tied at 28, and it's tied because of Kenny Kelly. Watch the ability, watch the stiff arm right there. He gets it outside, and then he puts the ball right where it needs to be. Bubba Franks gets it with both hands, cradles the football into his body for the touchdown, but watch the ability right here. Watch the stiff arm right there. That helps Kenny Kelly buy some more time. He could either run for the first down, but then he sees a wide open tight end, Bubba Franks in the front corner for the tying touchdown.
Stiff arm just like you used to get.
Yeah. That was nice. That was a big time play by Kenny Kelly.
Well, I think that was a good play call, not because it worked, but because it used Kenny's athleticism and put the pressure on the defense. You know, you got to be aware of the running threat. It's a third down and 3 yards to go for a first down. Clearly, he can run for the first down.
Do you think
the pressure you put on the defense in that situation?
Do you think what happened earlier in the season had any effect on a play call in that type of situation with 3rd and short against Penn State?
Against Penn State, yeah, I think that might have.
And the success they had maybe earlier in the game with Will McPartland coming outside, I think maybe that all plays on to the play call. And
no question about it.
And Kenny Kelly has to execute it. No matter what's called, you have to execute it. But for 3.5 quarters, this defensive line of Miami was getting pushed around. You got to give them credit. Hey, when they play bad, we're going to tell you. And when they get back into a game and score 28 points in a matter of a quarter, you got to give them credit. And they fought back hard. And they didn't give up.
Look at Bubba Franks, the big tight end. One of the best in America, if not the best. Out of Big Spring, Texas, appropriately enough. He and the kid from Louisville, Green.
Yeah.
Regarded as the 2 best tight ends in the country. And it's not just catching the football. Bubba's a terrific blocker.
He does everything.
I mean, he's 6'6", 260 pounds. And he's just a load for anybody.
How quiet is this place?
Pretty quiet right now. But BC does have a lot of time left. 3:51, as does Miami. If Miami's defense can hold, then they've got plenty of time too. So we're starting all over at 28 all.
This is great.
Jesse Olinger will kick it off. William Green and Carlton Rowe, the receivers. He hangs it high and short. It's not a good kick because you're giving Rowe a chance. And he's cut down at the 21-yard line by Nick Ward. Nicely done by Nick Ward.
Yeah, Nick Ward stayed on the outside that time, Frank. It looked like the ball was going to go up the middle, but Nick Ward, staying in his lane, comes up with a nice play on special teams.
BC takes over at their 22-yard line, we'll call it.
Frank, if I'm BC, I come out with those strange no-back formations like they did to start the football game and really throw the football underneath against Miami. They still have plenty of time. 3:42 left to go, and I believe they have 1 timeout remaining.
3 wide outs and the shotgun formation for Boston College. Hasselbeck throwing deep down the middle, and his receiver turned the other way as Al Blades had the coverage. Dedrick DeWalt complaining to the officials, but those pleas are falling on deaf ears. Let's take a look at Miami in the last 3 drives. Look at that. 5 plays 80 yards, 1 play 33, and 9 plays 76.
Well, that's the way.
Actually, the 1 play I believe was the 6-yard.
Yeah.
After the fumble recovery. So.
That's the way you get into the game by scoring under 2 minutes and 23 seconds on 3 scoring drives, and you really have 15 plays to do it.
Again, the spread formation. Hasselbeck on a rollout. Hasselbeck looking. Fires deep and overthrows DeWalt at the 35-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and 10 for Boston College. Leonard Myers was closer to that ball than Dedrick DeWalt was.
Now, what do you do if you're Miami, Frank? Offensively, throughout the season, pressure defense late in the game has hurt you. Now, the Miami offense comes back, and they use Kenny Kelly on a 3rd and short, and they roll him out and use his ability. Now, what does the coaching staff on the defensive side do? 3rd and 10, do you play a zone, or do you come up in pressure? I say you play a little bit of a zone and try to rely on your front 4 to get there.
Well, they haven't really gotten there much today. They're a 3-man rush.
Looks like pressure, though, Frank.
They're not blitzing. Hasselbeck stepping up and throwing deep for DeWalt. And that ball is juggled and incomplete. DeWalt had a chance to catch it, but he did not. Al Blades and Leonard Myers both on the coverage.
Wow, that was one heck of a throw by Tim Hasselbeck. He dropped it right in between 2 defenders, right to Derek DeWalt down the middle of the football field. Watch this throw. This is absolutely perfect, and for Boston College fans not to come down with this, that's absolutely perfect. He only gets 1 hand on it, and Al Blades was on the inside, and it looked like Leonard Myers was on the outside, but an incomplete pass, and that gives Miami more life.
McMyler to kick. Short kick, fair catch signal, and made by Moss at the Miami 43. So the Canes with good field position and 3:16 left to go in the game, and a little hand in there by Al Blades threw DeWalt off a little bit.
Exactly, that's a great point, Frank. Watch this replay. Watch Al Blades, just a little shove, and it never allows DeWalt to bring his left hand. All he puts is his right hand up on the football. You see Al Blades' right arm, it made contact,
but
with
he sold it. He sold it because he looked up for the ball and stuck his hand out. So he sold it to the official.
He finally turned to the football, Frank.
Canes operate out of the shotgun. 1st and 10 from their 43. Delay give to Jackson. Jackson nearly lost the football, but gets across midfield, where he's taken down by Mike Willits, number 98, but a pickup of 7 on 1st down.
Now, Miami has plenty of time in this football game, 3 minutes and counting with 2 timeouts remaining. They're still in the hurry-up, which is okay, because they don't want to rush at the line of scrimmage, but they do want to get the rhythm that they've had in this 4th quarter.
That's the key thing. They're in a rhythm. Kelly going to run out of the pocket, and down he goes. Sacked back at the 46-yard line. That's Chris Hovan, the All-American candidate.
And Kenny's got a little bit of a sprained ankle.
And he calls timeout.
Take a look at his left side. His left ankle gets caught, it looks like, when he was trying to step up into the pocket. Chris Hovan right there lands on his left ankle and kind of bends it around a little bit. And Kenny Kelly comes limping to the sideline.
Well, you don't want to take a sack in that situation, but I'm sure Kenny saw a lane there and thought he could get up to it. That was just a great play by Hovan.
Yes, it was.
And the immediate concern right now is Kenny's ankle. The backup is a true freshman, Ken Dorsey.
And you have to realize Miami really just wants to get into field goal range right now to have a chance to get ahead for the first time. I can't believe I'm saying that Miami's going to be ahead in this football game, but they do have the opportunity with 2:42 left to go. 3rd down and 7. It looks like the ball's on their own 46-yard line.
Kenny's going to stay in there. Just going to try and walk it off, but that may limit his mobility.
Yeah, they're going to have to. I would definitely think he's going to be in shotgun formation now, just to take the ball and try to get the ball outside to one of his wide receivers on a hook route, or maybe use Bubba again to the middle of the football field.
I'd go for double snowman, number 88.
He's a good target.
That's my guy, always has been. I think, you know, he's been somewhat underutilized in the past. Today they've certainly used him. Well, Butch Davis and his staff may be in shock that they're in this football game, that it's 28-28. That's just an incredible turnaround. Of course, the big key was the fumble by Washington that William Joseph picked up and ran back to the 6-yard line.
And they score on the first play.
They score on the first play. All right, here we go. 3rd and about 7. Look at Andy Crossland standing by on the sidelines, hoping he gets a chance. BC showing blitz. Here they come. He came free. Kelly has to get rid of it. Got it to Moss at the 45. Santana Moss to the BC 39. Kenny is limping badly.
Yeah, he's hurting out there.
Pedro Sereno made the tackle, but that's a Miami first down to the BC 39. So he picked up 15 yards. Kenny is really hobbling.
And they're going to huddle. Kenny can't go. He's motioning to the sidelines. I don't think he can go.
Well, they better do something because the play clock's down to 17. Kenny's got the play, and Ken Dorsey's wiggling his arms around, windmilling and trying to get warm in case he's got to go in there.
You better go grab his helmet.
Only 5 on the play clock. Give to Jackson with a hole. Jackson 35. Jackson 30 and down to the 28, has another first down. And they'll stop the clock momentarily while they reset the chains. George White on the tackle. 2 minutes and 4 seconds left to go.
Now Miami wants to huddle and take their time because they can really milk this clock. BC only has 1 timeout remaining, and Miami is definitely within Crossland field goal range.
Kenny Kelly obviously on a bad ankle right now, but they're staying with him. It's a pretty tough situation to put Ken Dorsey in.
Yeah.
As you see Crossland warming up on the sideline.
Kenny wants to snap this ball with about 2 seconds left to go on the 25-second clock.
Fulcher in motion across the formation. Give to Jackson. Jackson pounds across the 25 to the 24-yard line. Picked up 4. 2nd and 6. Clock moving with 1 minute and 30 to go. Kenny Kelly just playing on guts right now, John.
Yeah, right now all he has to do is get the snap, make sure he ensures the snap, the center quarterback exchange, and try to hobble back and get the football back to James Jackson. Because right now they can kick this ball with about between 40 and 30 seconds left on 4th down.
Get to Jackson on the stretch play. Penalty flag down. They're going to get Ty Wise for holding on Hovan. Jackson picked up 2, but boy, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, that's a bad play. If you're an offensive lineman, the one thing you don't want to do is stop the clock or run out of bounds, and they get Ty Wise for the hold on the inside, and it's away from the running play as well.
Flag was thrown at the 26, so they'll march off 10. Here's the call.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. 2nd down.
So the 10-yard penalty moves it to the 36-yard line. It'll now be 2nd and 16. Miami has to get to the 18 for a first down. That's the first holding penalty on Miami today on offense or defense. They had one on special teams.
Right.
It's the first offensive holding call.
Well, remember, most of this game they haven't been aggressive enough to get the holding call.
Kenny out of the shotgun. BC showing blitz. They know he's hobbled. Kelly gives on the delay to Jackson, and he'll only get a couple of yards to the 35-yard line. 51 seconds and the clock moving. They need more yardage. Right now it would be a 52-yard field goal.
Bubba's asking for a crossing route on the sidelines. He's telling him what he could do. Everybody trying to pitch in to try to get this ball closer to Andy Crossland so he can have a little bit of comfort walking in to try to win this game.
I don't know. They should be in more of a hurry than they are right now. Third and a ton, 19 to go. Kelly. Deep to the corner, and that ball overthrown. And Bubba Franks might get called for offensive interference.
Wow.
I think Bubba thought the ball might be going underneath, and he was trying to throw a block, but Kenny had to reload. The underneath receiver was covered.
He had a wide open number 84 King on the outside, and he elected to go down the field. It looks like it's going to go against Miami.
No flag.
No flag.
Ball was uncatchable, they're saying, I think.
There is no penalty. The ball was ruled uncatchable, incomplete.
That is the ruling. So now you've got 14 seconds to go. It's 4th. And still about 16.
Butch is going to call a timeout.
You call a timeout. Now, whatever win there is it Andy Crossland's back? I mean, you got to take a shot. Give the kid a shot.
You have to. And the bad thing that happened on third down was Kenny Kelly overlooked about a 7 or 8 yard gain on the outside to Andre King. In that situation, Andre's in between the numbers and the sideline. So even if he catches the ball, he turns out of bounds and he gets 8 yards. You don't pick up the first down, but you get 8 valuable yards.
You make
for
it
Andy
a 44
Crosland.
instead of a 52-yard field goal.
Exactly, and that means a lot. Wind or no wind.
Ooh, boy. Can we all take a deep breath together? Let's have a group deep breath here. Okay, there we go. 14 seconds left. Yeah.
In with the good,
out with the bad.
Out with the bad.
Oh, my.
And there's been a lot of both today.
Well,
unbelievable.
I always say, you know what, John? I always say in this business, once you think you've seen it all, you really haven't.
It just goes to show you, and you take a look at Andy Crosland this season. He's 6 of 11. He's had a long of 47, but he's also had 2 kicks blocked. But it just goes to show you, he never can tell what's going to happen in a half of football. I mean, I've never seen a Miami Hurricane team outplayed so badly in the first half, and even well into the third quarter, and come back with so much fight and enthusiasm in the fourth quarter.
But they're not putting Crosland on the field. They're going to try and get a first down.
I don't know about this.
I don't know. You're taking your chances. Your quarterback's hobbled in overtime.
Why
you got a hobbled quarterback?
I mean, unless Andy Crosland was asked, "Can you kick it this far?" and he said no.
Right.
I gotta have him out on the field.
I mean, they got to get to the 18-yard line for a first down. If you're playing for overtime, your quarterback's hurt. Kelly out of the shotgun. Moving around.
He's wide open.
Throwing for Reggie Wayne. He made the catch at the 12-yard line.
Wow.
And there's 7 seconds left to go. I'll tell you what.
Well, just when you thought you saw it all from
Oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable. He had a wide open Santana Moss in the middle of the football field, and Kenny Kelly found a way to fit the football on the outside. What a concentration, what catch on the outside by Reggie Wayne, number 87, to keep a foot in. And now Andy Crosland trots onto the field with 7 seconds left to go to actually win the game for Miami.
A 30-yard field goal out of the hole to Zach Hart. Snap is good. Kick is on the way, and it is good. Andy Crosland from 30 yards away, and with 3 seconds to go, Miami has a 31-28 lead. And if this holds up,
unbelievable.
Okay, this is the first time Andy Crosland will kick a game-winning field goal, and he's a senior.
This is incredible. There's no way this is supposed to happen. Andy Crosland came in with 7 seconds left to go to kick what looks like the winning field goal for Miami to go up 31-28.
Oh my goodness. This is just unbelievable. It was 28-7 going to the fourth quarter. Boston College was leading. It's now 31-28 Miami. Just
unbelievable.
I don't know what else to say, John. I really don't. I mean, let the pictures speak for themselves. You my dog there,
That's
Eric.
Right.
You my dog.
That's right.
Oh.
Unbelievable. These people in Boston College, they should be. They're stunned.
I'll tell you, we've seen some wild things. I've been covering sports for 20 years, and this ranks right up there. I mean, this is. Let's look at one more time. Andy Crosland, senior from Dallas, Texas. He certainly had his ups and downs in his Miami career. He says right away. That's like when you hit a great drive down the middle. You know you hit the sweet spot.
That was just unbelievable. For Miami to be in a position to actually have a chance to win this football game is incredible enough.
Well, now you just got to, punch the kick down along the ground, make one of the up guys handle it. Kenny Kelly, obviously in some pain.
It's supposed to be like this, but we'll take it. What's up, Player City?
You're right, Kenny. It wasn't supposed to be like this.
Trust me. Fans get better.
That's a courageous young man right there.
I'll tell you what. Crosland's going to kick off, and he kicks it along the ground, forces the up guy to handle it. There's the lateral back to Rowe. This is going to be the band play, and Jeff Popovich makes the tackle.
There's no music
and that's
today.
it. Miami has pulled off an incredible comeback. Your final score from Alumni Stadium as they mob Andy Crosland is Miami 31, Boston College 28. And I don't want to put this indelicately, but Kenny Kelly, he's got some onions. I'm telling you what. He played that last series. He could barely walk.
Incredible performance by Miami to even have an opportunity to get back into this football game.
Wow, we're just as stunned as everybody here. Andy Crossland, the hero, a 30-yard field goal, but boy, everybody came up big in the fourth quarter.
They really did. They did a terrific job in the fourth quarter to come back and get themselves in a position to win a football game for 3.5 quarters that they were clearly outplayed.
They were clearly outplayed, and Miami will look on this game and look back on this game. There's been a turning point in their last couple seasons, and usually it's come in West Virginia, but today it may have come at Boston College. We'll take one last break. We'll be back to wrap it up from Alumni Stadium. The Hurricanes, just incredible winners, 31-28 over Boston College. Miami Hurricanes football on Sports Channel has been brought to you in part by Office Depot. Business is crazy, but Office Depot makes sense. By Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Heineken, brewed the same way since 1886. And by Bell South, with crystal clear wireless phone service at a great price. Frank Fort and John Congemi back with you on Sports Channel, and we're about as stunned as anybody else. I imagine this is a lot like the feeling Miami had after the Hale Flutie. You just can't believe what you saw. Boston College was leading 28-7 going to the fourth quarter. Miami appeared to be dead and buried. They were playing poorly. They had 123 yards in offense 4 minutes into the fourth quarter. And they come back and they score 3 touchdowns and a field goal by Andy Crossland and pull this thing out of the fire. You talk about snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This was down in defeat's stomach. They
Frank,
reached way down there and got it.
Frank, we had them all the way.
Oh, my goodness.
I've never seen a team do this.
All right, let's take a look at the key play. This is a 4th and about 17 from the Boston College 35 with, I think it was 14 seconds left to go. Kenny Kelly playing on a gimpy ankle, moves out of the pocket, and somehow finds Reggie Wayne, who does a great job getting a foot in bounds there. In fact, I think he might even had 2 inbounds down to the 12-yard line. And that sets up, with 7 seconds left to go, Andy Crossland, a 30-yard field goal, the first game-winning kick in his University of Miami career, and he's a senior.
Just incredible, Frank, the way that they fought in the fourth quarter. They started winning the battles that they were losing the entire game.
Let's take a look, and the total yards were only 40 yards difference, and BC was completely dominating. 247 rushing yards. James Jackson wound up with over 100. The total yards really mean nothing right now, and you go back to Matich's missed field goal early in the fourth quarter when he could have made it 31-7. The fourth quarter points, Miami 24, BC nothing. So Miami moves to 3-3 and wins their Big East opener. And hopefully this will get them some momentum. They'll get a rhythm going in the Big East, and they'll have a successful season. And if they do, they can look back on this game and say, this is what made it for us.
Well, they can look back to the fourth quarter, because for 3 quarters they didn't want to even take a look tomorrow at what it looks like on film, because it's going to probably be even uglier on film than it was in person. But you have to give them credit. They fought hard, and they found some emotion in the fourth quarter, and they really fought hard to get into a position to win the football game.
Well, thanks for joining us here at Alumni Stadium, and boy, I'll tell you what, you got your money's worth out of this. Catch more University of Miami football on Sports Channel next Saturday, October 30th at 11:30 p.m. when the Hurricanes host the West Virginia Mountaineers in a Big East showdown. Football fans, don't miss Sports Channel's Sunday morning playbook. Kicks off at 8:30 with Dolphins Magazine, followed by the Tom Coughlin Show at 9 and the Jimmy Johnson Show at 9:30. Then at 10, it's an hour and a half of in-depth NFL pregame coverage on Sunday Morning NFL. It's all right here on Sports Channel. For my broadcast partner and future member of the PGA Senior Tour, John Congemi, I'm Frank Fort, saying goodbye once again. The final score from Chestnut Hill, Miami 31, Boston College 28. So long, everyone.